Hello, everyone! I'm sorry, I had to do Thomas's thing.
Yay!
I love when he does that.
Yeah.
And we are here to not play D&D.
Yeah. We are Chaos Agents Plus, is what we're going to call it. Chaos Agents Plus.
I like it.
Premium.
Yeah, premium, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so unfortunately Thomas could not be here tonight, so we are doing this lovely Q&A session with these amazing people right here. And I have the extreme honor to be the one asking the questions. Yes.
We both did the same thing. Terrifying.
Yeah. Hey, but before we do that, we want to get into some of the announcements, get through that as fast as we can so we can answer questions about y'all. Yes. So, first and foremost, guys, it's Gordon Biersch. That's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a really big one.
Big, beautiful one.
That's right. Yeah, cheers, guys. They sponsored us.
Cheers.
Salute. I'm drinking the Cliffhanger Marzen tonight.
Dude, Marzen is so good.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Send us more free stuff.
It's awesome. Like them very much. Very happy to be sponsored by them.
Yeah.
Helping offset
Seriously.
that cost of the beers.
Don't kind of. Dude, that was like half of our burn rate.
You know, yeah.
It was, though.
Half of all bits is just going right to beer.
No.
We are not alcoholics, we swear.
Yes. No.
We had a rotation of who was buying.
Yes, indeed. Hey, so not just them though. We are sponsored by Game Castle as
Nice.
well, which is great. Yeah.
Everybody
we can
needs
do
it.
Exclamation point Game Castle, a wonderful local gaming store that has everything D&D related, Magic the Gathering. Here in the Bay Area, they got several locations. I heard they're out in Texas now, which is
So I hear.
Really?
yeah.
Franchise.
So yeah, you can franchise. They're really cool. Check them out. If you pre-order with them, 20% off. So that's awesome. Yeah,
That's also really cool.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
very cool. So thank you, Game Castle, for the sponsor there. Okay, so as I said, Chaos Agents is not happening tonight. Instead, we're doing this. Again, just want to reiterate about tomorrow, though, Call of Cthulhu, which is currently on hiatus until July,
Yes.
Pending some scheduling issues. So it's going to come back, and like we said last night, we got a lot of content still up on YouTube and more new content coming. Which leads me into my next announcement, that more content equals a one-shot. That's right. A one-shot for natural ones. So a natural one-shot, if you will.
How long have you been
There's
thinking
nobody
about
here to give you inspiration.
Literally, that came from the chat last night
Really?
on the show when I first announced it. Somebody said natural one-shot, if you will, and I liked it very much, and I stand behind it.
It plays better
Title it
in
on the-
text.
Yeah. No, Tonda, a natural one-shot. No?
Is it a one shot or natural?
It's all natural, guys.
But we are doing that with Seth, who is going to be NGC 457.
Yes.
Who joined us on the Kickstarter to play a game with us, and we will be doing that. We are getting our cast set right now for it with all the characters. You will see Warren there on Sunday. You will see our very own Vanna Laswin, Tiana, on Sunday as well.
Wherever she may, I don't know.
Right in front of the camera.
Here, on camera.
I finally get to say it, and you're right there.
Yay.
Very nice. Tiana, who joined us for our first natural one-shot, which was very good.
Which I actually need to rewatch. It's been several months since we last did it, and since we did that one, and it was fun.
It was also important. So, just like this one will also be important. So, yes. Please tune in Sunday even, the 12th, Mother's Day.
Yep.
Bring your mother.
Bring
Watch-
your evening.
Watch us. Yep.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yep.
Here's some great people.
Watch the thing.
I didn't even, like, I can get my mom to tune in.
There you
That
go.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah. There it is.
That would be
Happy
cool.
Mother's Day. Watch
feel like
the
a, yeah,
You just bring her.
I feel like a bad
so
son.
watch.
Yeah.
No. The text should just be Happy Mother's Day. Watch my show.
Click
don't
this
forget,
link.
Don't forget. Then don't reply.
Just ignore
Remember when I said
We're
don't
sorry,
click?
mothers. We actually love you. We love our
We
mothers.
love you.
This is a mother-sponsored
We really do.
channel. I'm just kidding.
Remember when I told you not to click any links, but click this one. Click this one.
Did
my son steal my credit card?
on this?
I miss being on stream.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh my
So-
goodness.
Sunday, May 12th, 1 p.m. to 6. or whenever.
Whenever we finish.
That's right.
Could be 5 hours, could
It's a
be
one
longer.
shot.
Because the last one was 5 hours.
The last one was,
Yes, it was.
almost exactly 5 hours, too.
Yep, and this one would be the same. But I think any good one shot should be the length of a proper session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least.
yeah. So tune in. It's gonna be fun. All right.
And Seth is awesome, so I'm really
Seth's great.
Seth is great.
I'm looking forward to playing with him.
I'm very
Magnifique.
excited to DM for him, for everyone.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Hey, we went through your character tonight. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Super excited. All right. There, I think we're good there. We can get in, except that we have some bits. So let's
Really?
inspiration.
I was going to jokingly say that.
I'm not
How
gonna
are we
say
doing inspiration
no,
tonight?
but I mean, thank you.
No, all right. So concerning bits, before we get into that,
Yes.
we did trigger the boy last night. That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. So the boy is now back down to 0, and at some point tonight we will be doing a 5e book giveaway, including Nord Games books.
Yes.
A deck if you want, but you can get their yes, it is. You can get their Skullduggery one. You could get all in one. The
Because skullduggery is such a fun word to say.
Do the bits get them a question?
no.
Okay.
No, but we
Yeah,
will
they
be
can
answering
book
questions
people.
From the chat.
From the chat? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
So-
so we don't want to incentivize that, but I
So we.
That would make sense. That's what I thought too.
So what we have here is we have some questions that were sent out to everyone to prepare for. So we have a couple of questions that we're going to go ahead and ask, and then we're going to have some new ones from the chat. Yes,
Which
and
is dangerous.
it is. And at some point, I may decide just to ask any question I want of anyone.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Cheers.
Right.
I like it.
Is it too late to opt out of this?
No,
You can leave. I don't
get
care.
no say so on this.
What's your social security?
We're chained to the tables. We can't leave.
You have to answer.
I mean, it depends on the question.
That face looks like a face.
That
I
looks
right
like
recognize.
a face. I just seen something on the prompter. Don't look.
At what?
Don't look.
Okay.
It's so much more tempting.
Yeah. we have bits. We do have bits. I usually grab that. Don't know why I'm doing it now. All right.
I mean, you might as well.
The Baroness has gifted us 1,000 bits. Our very own patroness.
Thank you.
Baroness.
Our lovely patroness.
A lovely patroness.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And the one, the only, the incomparable, the Hefner
Who
has
is freaking
gifted
insane.
has gifted 500 bits for the players,
Uh-huh.
plus 1,000 bits for Warren,
Oh.
okay.
plus 1,000 bits for Aubrey, plus 1,000 bits for Tiana,
What?
plus 1,000 bits for Lauren, plus 1,000 bits for Erin.
Holy cow.
So 5,500 bits?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Six.
There's just another 1,000 for whatever. I'm assuming it's gonna go to me.
Clearly.
Because you're loved too.
But clarify in the chat.
No.
Thanks.
He doesn't need
Ted.
it. He doesn't need
It is for you. It is
It is for me.
Of course
You
it's
know
for
what?
you.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just from now on. This was suggested in chat. I'm always going to accept bits as Ted.
Do it.
I love it.
From now on.
Well, I mean,
What do you
He's
plan
the
on
right guy to get them. He
doing
can
with
count
your
them all.
money?
Count shit.
What do you plan on doing with your money that you have gathered here?
With all that money,
Yes.
hookers and booze.
which is
Just
funnier
what
than
an
10
accountant would
points.
say.
Funnier than 10 points.
In the Trump administration.
Actually, I'm going to invest some of it. I got to diversify my stock profile a bit. Also, I want to make sure that I get into the mutual funds. That's important.
So what I'm hearing is that you are only using that wealth to increase your own benefits.
I mean, for now.
That is very selfish, Ted, and hopefully you do not err on the wrong side of judgment.
This is why Uzo will never be in my...
It's the showdown that I've been waiting for, man. Are you kidding?
Oh God, you're right. I have too much. I have to give it to people. Like,
Hookers are people.
Classic reference. Fair though.
Time to fund a college education.
Butter knife drop. I'm done.
I'm so upset that Ted is not in chaos.
They would be so good.
You always have to smoke.
I honestly have thought about that. I could fit Ted in Ruckus's background. Ruckus would not know he was in his back.
Let's
You
talk.
shut up.
Oh my God. Okay. 500 bits for Ted from the Baroness. Even more money for me to give to hookers.
Diversify your portfolio.
And then another 500 from the Hefner to diversify your hookers.
And equality.
It's so worth coming on your show.
Right?
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I certainly wish I was part of Chaos Agents.
Quite chaotic.
Fits right in.
We're very chaotic, that's for certain.
So,
Got a good portfolio.
so I think we have all the lower thirds, so everyone has their names,
Ow.
yeah?
Mine should say Lauren.
Shit!
What?
What?
Good
It
shit.
better have been worth us losing our monetization.
Okay.
We wouldn't for that. You would have to say... No.
Okay, let's go.
Who
what about-
That's
Bo, let's hear it. Who did what?
What?
No vocals has
Uh-oh.
returned
I know vocals.
to take
Motherfuckers?
what may be the top spot. That's right.
Haha.
That's right. 10,000 bits.
Dude.
Are you
No vocals.
freaking kidding me?
10,000.
Oh shit is right.
Yes. Exactly.
God damn.
Yes.
Can't even use it. We can't even use the inspiration.
I know, right? Like,
You have to use it on
20.
this
Thomas, you've got to let us use some of this.
Please.
Oh my god, no vocals.
Thank you
Serious.
so
Yeah,
much.
thank
That's
you.
amazing, dude.
I don't.
Wow.
The Baroness, thank you. The
Thank you,
Hefness,
guys.
Thank you. Oh my.
The entire
Thank you.
community. You
It's
guys
just-
are amazing.
This community is freaking
Yeah,
brilliant.
you guys
Thank
are
you
awesome.
so much. I
You
get
guys are awesome.
Cool. Oh my goodness.
We're
Cheers.
inspired.
Cheers to you guys.
You guys,
Cheers.
honestly.
Clink.
To the
Clink,
lovelies.
clink.
To the chaotics.
Chaotic.
To the chaotics.
To the chaotics. I like it.
Still a work in progress, but I like it.
It's better than Natters.
It is better than Natters.
We're not the Nanners, no.
That's what I call you guys until you come up with a group name. I'm
We're
calling
the
you guys
Angels
the Natters.
Valor.
With the Nattists.
I was gonna be like Ted's Angels, but
Well, Hefner would support you on that.
That's so good.
I've been thinking of that one for a while actually.
Almost as good as Fox and
Nope, nope, nope.
Nope.
Ted and Friends.
Ted and Friends.
Oh, but not Fox and Friends.
Yes, Ted and Friends works. Fox and Friends a little too on the nose.
That's a move, though.
Let's not actually go too far and say we're actually friends.
Ted and acquaintances.
Ted and Company.
All right. I see how we are.
Ted and
As
Associates.
we
There's
saw,
so many other things, lover.
as we saw in Natural 1 last night, there was a wee bit of a pirate war.
There was.
And just like that, you know, pirates, like their doubloons, there's a bit of a doubloon war in chat right now.
Guys, what are you doing?
That's right. Another 5,000 bits
Come on.
from the Hefner
To reclaim that spot. You
reclaim that spot.
guys are so lucky I'm not in chat right now.
How crazy.
Just throw the money
It
at
has
me.
been thrown and it has been answered. Let's see how it goes.
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I
like
just want to
21,000.
I know.
I'm not going to do the math.
I'm trying to math and my brain is not comprehending.
I
Yeah. I
can't.
can't.
Amazing.
That's like
That's like
22,000
at
bits.
least 2
We
in total.
really, really
Oh my
appreciate
God.
all of you guys.
You guys are
I'm going to
amazing.
have to look at the Discord
Yeah,
question that
people
the
in
Hef
Discord,
asked.
YouTube,
Something about cult
Twitch,
leader?
Like, you
Oh
guys
my.
Are you all
I can't even
cultists?
No, no.
Do you worship Rao?
No, no. The Hefner is apparently the cult leader of the cult of Ted.
I love it. I love it.
I don't mind.
I
Is
like
that within
you know?
the accounting firm? Because they could probably write that off.
They could.
You are so
they've got a
supportive of
scheme.
Ted. It's really amazing.
Ted's such a fun character, though.
so much
He's a
fun.
good character.
He
It's a
is.
scam. They
And,
work in
and I took off the training wheels last night with Ted. I let him
Boy, did
loose.
you ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did. It was fun. It was like 52 damage in one turn. Yeah.
Finally coming level with Andraste.
Ooh. He didn't even crit to
Shots
do
I
it.
fired.
know.
He didn't even crit to do it.
I know. Andraste had to crit in order to get that.
Yes. And for the
That's
record, he
amazing.
crits on 19, so he's a 10% crit chance. So yeah, Ted's a beast. Ted's
Yeah.
a beast.
That's a good beast.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very gently
I'm
poking
glad
at you.
he's on our side.
Ted needs to lead an
Honest.
adventure.
Yes.
What he
For
wants to
how
do.
long though?
Oh, I hate when you do that.
All right.
Oh.
We
Yeah,
there's
we should get to some questions.
Let's get some questions.
Yeah, we could sit here and bullshit all night, and I'm sure we will.
Easily.
Let's do it with
guess.
this. So we're gonna start. We're gonna kind of go around the table, and at times I may ask questions to the entire table throughout. So we're gonna start
there.
with no, it's on you, buddy. We're starting to the left here.
To the left, to the left.
And this is one that we're gonna open up to the table as well. Non-spoilers, guys. No spoils. All right? So if it's very important to the character, you know, just say, well, can't do that one. Maybe choose something else. Here's the question. Warren, what is Uzo's earliest memory?
Oh, the earliest memories I have get extremely difficult to remember because, as you can recall, I was without sight for all of my life. So my earliest memories are mixed with images, shapes, sounds, scents, textures, and I have a very hard time discerning reality from dream, but what I can tangibly remember is digging around the sewage for means of sustenance for survival and hanging around with the other children throughout Waterdeep, finding out that I could make money using my affirmity to my benefit to instill guilt in the travelers of Waterdeep, but I could make more money when I used my sightlessness for advantage. Because when the city went to sleep and things got dark, it did not change for me. So I learned how to pickpocket, unfortunately how to steal, and how to recompensate the people around me who were not as able-bodied as I was. So those are some of my first memories, but if you're looking for a tentpole, I don't have one. And Waterdeep has been very cruel, especially to children. So I'd rather not revisit those times. I look forward to the times I have with the friends I've made.
Wow, I like that. I like that very much. Oh, that's good.
And scene.
Yeah.
On to forever.
That was a really good.
Great question.
I know all the rest of us have
Great
to.
question.
Now
I know all the rest of us have to follow that.
You do not have to do it in character if you don't want to.
I thought that was the stipulation. Okay.
It was never written anyway.
Okay, all right.
You can, but that was amazing.
love
Are you
it.
That was
kidding me?
great.
I'm very glad this
Oh,
happened.
thank you.
I'm
Yes.
glad now I have to follow that.
Yes.
Yeah, so what,
In French.
which character would you like to talk about?
Doesn't matter. It's fine with either. you
Which?
or-
Yeah.
or,
just be
Maya.
careful about Maya.
Yeah, Maya, there's a lot that I really can't explain with her because there's just, in the questions, especially like certain things, there's just a lot because there's things that I really can't tell you because they really pertain to the story.
It's right. It does spoil it quite a bit.
It does. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we're gonna have to leave a lot of Maya's questions in the shadow.
Yeah, yeah. At least as far as their earliest memory,
Right.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. But God, yeah. There's just so much for Maya that is just waiting. So we're gonna leave it there. How about Io?
Oh well.
Which, for those of you who haven't seen it, Legends of Solari, which is also on Quest and Chaos. You can check it out on YouTube. ! YouTube for that link in the chat. But
Super fun.
Aubrey played Io, the bard.
Yes.
I did, indeed. My earliest memory, let me think here. What is there to tell? I remember my father going through and drills with his sword in hand. Sometimes wooden, sometimes his sword used in battle. My mother singing by the fires. That's pretty much it. I had a very happy childhood. So, those were my first memories. My father bouncing me on my knee. My mother singing. It was a very happy childhood, very happy home.
Very lucky.
I am very lucky. Yes. I am not disregarding that. I mean, our little village, everyone knew each other. It was an elf village. My father, being human, he wasn't completely well-liked. Some people weren't so sure of him until they got to know him for years, which, that could mean anything.
It sounds like it was much better than Uzo's, for sure.
Very envious of this.
But, my friend, I understand your plight, and I would do anything to help you.
Thank you.
There it is.
I appreciate your concern.
How about over here for Andraste?
So I would say that, I mean, of course, my earliest memories were all in the forest, where I was born and where I was raised as a wood elf. Pardon me, I seem to have picked up Io's raspiness.
Well, I am quite infectious.
I'm just going to leave that one right there.
That's just 37. Go on.
But I think one of my earliest memories, one of my fondest memories is stargazing with my uncle Zavror. We would go out to one of the clearings, and he would show me the constellations, and he would tell me the stories of the brave adventurers and the heroes that were immortalized in the stars. And sometimes we would make up our own. There's one up there called Andraste, because why not? I was a child.
There you go.
In much like Io, I had a happy childhood. It was, it takes a village to raise a child and all of that.
Oh, am I right?
Yes, especially out in the woods when no one bothers you.
No, they don't. We were far away from the elf city. So.
Exactly. So we didn't have to deal with all of the nonsense of the high elves and rubbish like that.
Politics.
Elitists.
There's nothing wrong with elitists. Okay, fine. Yes, there are some problems with elitists.
We'll talk about that later, but yes.
Rizzo has some problems.
That sounds like a beautiful childhood, looking at the stars and telling stories based on the constellation.
It was beautiful. Zavor, my uncle, and I were very close when growing up. We were very similar in a lot of ways. So.
This is the uncle she had to kill and bury.
Yep, by the way.
The one that got flayed.
In case you were curious.
That's his way down.
Full circle.
Oh, just stab me with a knife.
Zavor and I both had red hair, so he called me his younger twin.
And is that why the fire?
We'll get to that later.
Stumbled onto something. I like it. Let's go over here to Natrix.
Well, a lot is untold and shall remain so for now. Spoilers.
No spoilers, guys.
Head tilt?
Spoilers, darling.
I've got a question about that later, so we're gonna cover that. All right.
Oh, is it?
What would you say Natrix's favorite memory would be, if it's not spoilery?
Oh, this could be tough. Because it verges on spoilers.
Say what you can without spoilers.
Teetering.
It's close.
Dance right on that knife edge.
Okay.
Karambit Dagger's Edge.
Yes. A very curved edge.
Well, she does have amazing dexterity, as we saw last night.
I mean, I don't, but she does.
No, you caught a lot of the...
That's true, that's true.
You did.
Though the dice rolls were,
Well,
Are you kidding me? Natrix got that killing blow. Flipping, twisting, flipping, landing.
so cool to watch.
Severing
quite
the
fun.
brains. It was beautiful.
It was a work of art.
That's my favorite memory right now.
That was pretty good.
Getting that kill after everything you've been through.
I would say there were times of good memories, but not all the times. Certain memories with certain people were good, but if I talk about those people, little spoilers.
Spoilers, darling.
She had people she cared about, who she enjoyed their company. Beyond that, we should find out.
I'm really excited for it.
Same
It'll
though.
come.
Yeah.
It will. I mean, you got to get off the island first.
Yes.
Freaking get off our computer.
I can imagine people in chat being like, give us more.
Sorry.
Didn't expect it to be its own arc, but it's its own arc.
So pick one: Ruckus or Mayhem.
Do you want to flip a coin? I have a coin.
What are we allowed?
We can, but I also want to say Ruckus because I've been dying.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Do it.
Let's do it.
We
So
never-
good.
it hasn't been addressed, just like him speaking Elvish.
We were just
Well, then
talking
you should
about
save
that.
it for the stream, man. You should save it for Remy, Andraste, and Uzo.
Oh no, I just mean like his specifically. It's aware, but not everyone in that party knows about it. You know what I mean? Like from like basic. It's small.
Okay.
Just that he was rich in his past. He was a nobleman.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, Highborn gave it away.
Highborn.
Everybody, yeah.
And the fancy pants.
The fancy pants.
You don't know where I got them.
Yes, I do.
I do. You said it was the last thing you had of them.
Yep.
Damn it.
And that you had to grow into them, if I
That's
remember
right.
correctly,
And
because you were
Uzo's-
quite young when it happened.
For sure. Uzo's definitely wondered how much that was worth.
I'm sure it was. And how many brain cells did you lose when it was hammered into your head?
They're growing back.
That's not how it works.
I mean, the brain cells
okay,
grow
it's
back,
just
the
your
memories
frontal
don't.
I knew it.
It's okay, it's just your frontal lobe. That's where you and you know
That's
what
where you
you're
discern
thinking.
reason. Good news is we know how hard his head is.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's true.
Sturdy enough for a blacksmith to hammer a jewel into it.
That's right. It was a perfect metaphor for how stubborn he is. All right.
It really is.
I would say, I'm going to answer as Ruckus, because I think
Do it.
as Ruckus, his first memory is
Are you speaking in the third person?
No.
yes.
Sorry.
Yes, he is speaking in third
There is not
person.
enough booze in here for this.
Ruckus considers himself great. We all know it, and he knows it, and you know that he's great. But I'd say it's the fact that he grew up with his highborn family. Very, a nice home. Honestly, a mansion. Beautiful. Just a great setup to it all. Large fields, bodyguards of all over from different walks of life, different, who knows.
Super rich.
And yet.
And
And
yet,
yet, that was a fond memory while it lasted. That's not a spoiler.
that's not a spoiler that has been addressed on the stream.
Oh yeah, and but in that part of his life, his life, the mansion, his family, and the fields and the guards were his fondest memories. The
I
things
love
he
this
thought
group.
about every day. But the thing he always went back to for some reason was at midnight. He would always try and go and venture out on his own, because he's telling a hero's journey. He would venture out on his own to a river nearby, his beautiful, ridiculously beautiful mansion. I just want everybody to, I want Uzo to hate him.
I'm just gonna look back out of the
When
glass
Uzo
door into
realized
this one.
Bodyguard.
He's so transparent in
Love.
his
It's all about love.
ruckusness.
Yeah.
You can't hate him.
As a
You really can't at that point.
As a child, even he was bossing these adults to do whatever he wanted because they were that rich. A hero's journey. Anyway,
Well done.
a relatable story.
So
really.
can we throw that question at Remy then?
All right. You
Yeah.
can try.
What is his earliest favorite memory then? What can he talk about?
What he can talk about is the sea, really. I mean, there's nothing like it. The freedom. I started out as a sailor, actually, and I guess it's never been addressed on stream how he made the transition from sailor to pirate.
How he became a pirate, yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure it'll come up.
But his fondest memories, I cannot give you his earliest memories. But his fondest memories, once he became a pirate, the freedom it afforded him, and he was hooked. He earned the respect of his captain, and he earned the respect of his crew, until, very unfortunately, he had to betray them to save them. So,
It's
those-
Peter, wasn't it?
it was Peter, the treasonous first mate, mutinous first mate, actually. Unfortunately, and I'm really looking forward to getting my ship back, so that we can deal with such scum. Anyhow,
That
And
makes
there
me
we
excited.
are.
Yeah. I can't wait.
there's a reason that I requested a pursuit cannon.
Interesting.
It
I'm
could be
looking
for
forward to this.
So yeah, I would say absolutely. Remy's favorite memories are working his way up through and with his pirate brethren, and taking the example of what a noble and chivalrous pirate lord should be from his captain. So, yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. Yep. This just in, we have Cupcake Cobra subbed for her 2nd month.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Cobra or Cora?
Cora, because I can't read. It's Cupcake Cora for the 2nd month.
Now I'm just-
Thank you very much.
It's someone I know. Hi, Cora.
There it is. There it is. Thank you.
Now I'm just imagining a cobra just at a cupcake.
Yeah.
Or just a
would be
Cobra
great,
made
though.
of cupcake.
Where's my lovely Ebony?
It's a happy ending either way.
Sounds delicious.
I miss her.
I mean, of course.
Ruckus also remembers Down by the River. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's take one quick
I don't
one
know.
from the audience. Yeah?
You should, when you answer questions, you should answer Mehem as Ruckus or for Ruckus as
So they're
Mehem.
That'll get really
telling legendary tales about these nobodies.
That's so good.
nice.
Do it.
Oh,
That's why they
please.
pay
Rao
big
told me
bucks.
about him.
Yes.
I don't know why. He defeats everything Rao's for.
I would really love to hear Mayhem's.
Oh,
Take on Ruckus.
Actually, this would be really interesting.
Comfortably rich.
Let's take one here to everyone. How much of your characters, whether it be Nat 1 Chaos Agents or Great Dane Society, is a reflection/representation of yourself versus attributes you wanted to play specifically because it's fun to be different from who you are?
good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So, or maybe things you wish you were but are currently not, strengths in your personality. So, how much of it would you say in creating your character did you put in because it's you versus how much of it was something you want to be? So,
Interesting. Okay.
You want me to cry? Because this is how you make me cry.
Are we starting on this side of the table or this
producer
side
wants
of
you
the
to
table
cry.
this time?
let's go right over here.
All right, I guess I'll cry first. I would say, I always have the running joke behind camera or off camera that's just that Mayhem and Ruckus is 2 halves. It's 2 halves. When I have to make a 3rd character, we'll figure it out. But 2 halves so far because I just love that Mayhem is just so for his own principles as just being like this righteous, upstanding dude, and committed. Like in this dark world, that everything that just tries to push him, DM included, tries to push him to do something.
Damn right.
I
It's
love
glorious to watch.
I love the conflict. It's fantastic.
I think it's key to his character is
Yeah.
that struggle, and where his line is, and pushing that boundary and seeing what will do it. I think it's going to be a theme of your story for sure.
That's on. Well, that's why I liked playing, or I still love playing Ruckus, because I can be that against everything kind of idea.
Yeah.
Almost right off the bat. But as Mayhem, I just love the conflict has to come from like a much more crueler place in order for me to want to not fight it. So, as a personal element, I don't know. I like getting crazy as Ruckus, and I guess I just like combating something either way. I love that conflict as either character. So,
Nice. I like it. Let's go over here for Natrix.
Little side real quick. I love being the devil's advocate on your shoulder. Just kind of like,
Nope. Pun intended.
How appropriate. She's the demon on your shoulder.
Demon's advocate.
Rao on one, Natrix on the other.
I love that.
Sorry. Yes. I would say mostly Natrix is someone I would aspire to be, someone I would want to be like. I want to have that confidence, that arrogance, you know. But personally, myself, I am not very overly confident, and so I kind of wish to portray that in my character. There are times when I am confident, and those are the parts that I've accentuated for her.
I think that I've really enjoyed watching Natrix and being able to see her in different situations, act differently, kind of a bit shyer at first, and then coming out of your shell a bit, especially with Maya and the rum.
So good.
That's a good bit.
But then at the same time, being able to see her go into assassin mode
Yeah.
and just mess stuff up,
Oh, yes.
which is very, very nice. So I've definitely enjoyed seeing the character, and on that line as well with her interactions with Mayhem, it's been really, really fun to see that kind of counter
Yeah.
to mayhem a lot of the time, where it's really, you know,
We're gonna help
like,
this person.
when you're with Onra, and he was like, I promise I'm gonna get you out,
Yes.
and you're like, you can't save everybody. Are you seriously gonna say that right now? And sure enough, you couldn't save everybody.
Maybe.
So it's kind of, you pose that question to Mayhem of whether his idealism is truly practical or not.
We'll find out if it is.
Yeah.
Well, we've already seen this. It's not in some cases.
Real quick, just to interrupt the questioning right now, because we have to, because whoever Ted the accountant is,
What did they do?
They know what they're doing.
This is, come on.
What did
This
they
is a shared
do?
account that someone in here is using.
It's not me, man.
Pass
you
along.
might believe that because Ted the accountant, whoever you are, will fucking find you.
It always scares me when Ted swears.
I know. I swear.
It's terrifying.
10,000 bits.
Are you kidding me?
No way.
Are you guys?
What is happening?
I just relieved myself in my pants. That's fantastic.
What?
The first time was no reason, though.
I do not know what this happening.
Ted the accountant, thank you so much.
Thank
She's
you.
right, you know. Thank you, whoever you are.
Thank you, whoever you are. You are freaking amazing. Just
Merci
tip of the
beaucoup.
cap, friend.
Merci beaucoup, to you.
All right, we're going to take the question now over to Tiana.
So I've been very lucky to play 3 different characters on this channel. I've been Andraste, Alexandria, and Dothel, and they have all been very different aspects of me. Andraste is probably the one that everyone, including myself, knows the best. She's who I was. I play her and I watch, you know, this young adult elf, and I see myself the way that I was when I was 20, 21. And it's very interesting to look back and be like, yeah, that's right. That's what it was like to be, you know, hopelessly head over heels with a crush.
Yeah.
For the very first time. This is what it was like. Okay, I remember this. And I can play that because I've been there. She's starting to develop more of the snark.
Sorry, who's that crush on?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Remy isn't here. Go away.
I know, he's very present.
You'll find out more next week, I'm sure.
Oh, you gotta tune in.
You got to tune in because I was given something over the weekend that will pertain to this. Anyway. So Andraste is very much who I was. Alexandria is kind of who I am, or at least how I think of myself as being now. A little more centered in who I am, a little more, I don't know, controlled, and able to see where problems are and figure out how to adjust for the situation that's going on. Certainly not perfect at it, nowhere close, but it's both who I am and who I aspire to be.
She's definitely the rogue of the party.
Oh my God, yeah.
Absolutely.
When I was building her, because she has a 75 dex, when I was building her, I was like, she is an assassin who poses as an opera singer. That's been there from the beginning. And I was like, how do I make this, how do I make her the most effective that she can be? So, a little bit of mid-maxing, perhaps.
And let's talk a little bit about Dothel, real quick.
Yes, let's talk a little bit about Dothel.
Not too much.
No, of course not.
All right.
I think Drew actually said it the best because I saw him a couple weekends ago. He said, Dothel is who you are if you take all of the restraints off. If Tiana was allowed to be as dark as I can go, that's Dothel. She smiles and she smiles and she smiles and then she sets you the frick on fire.
For a good reason.
Yes, indeed. She is... I like her a lot. She has a lot more charisma than I do, I think, but she has that dangerous presence about her that I aspire to have, to be perfectly honest. So she's very much my dark side, allowed off the leash.
What I really liked about Dothel is she knew thieves can't. And while
And her
all the
deception
other
was off the
rogues-
freaking chain.
That's right. All the other rogues during that one shot were talking in thieves can't like she couldn't understand. They were talking about like one of them shooting their shot with her, being like, "Hey." So I mean, Emerald
Yep.
Eye was all trying to.
Emerald
figure
Eye
that out.
over in the innuendo chair.
That's right.
And she revealed nothing until the moment was right.
Exactly. And how do you feel about that as it pertains to yourself?
I think she's a lot better at it than I am. I have a very expressive face, so when I feel something, people know that I feel it, either by me reacting to it or just not reacting to it. You know, because sometimes you can tell how someone's reacting by how they don't react. So she's who I aspire to be in that respect.
I like that. I like that.
So I guess Andraste is who I was, Alexandria is who I is, and Dothel's kind of who I want to be, but with a lot more control.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very excited for continuing those stories, and I hope we get to see you back on Natural One at some point.
Yes, well, I'm looking forward to that. We've been talking a little bit about that.
We have indeed. Let's go over here for the question.
EO is basically, I mean, let's be honest, he's pretty much like a male alter ego. and kind of who I aspire to be in a way that, like, I mean, he really is somebody who, he surprised me a lot during Solari. More so just because of how completely, like, idealistic he is. He was not going to go back on any of his principles whatsoever. He'd fight anybody for them. But the way his mindset changed during Solari also, like, really surprised. Like, I did not set him up to be the leader. That was not something that I set him up to be at all. And then suddenly he was the one making decisions. And that was what was happening, and everybody was looking at him to make decisions. And that was very interesting in that way. But he's also a lot more flirtatious than I am. I am actually not flirtatious. At least, hey!
Bull! Bull!
Really, I don't know how flirtatious I am. Okay, he's me without, like, restraint. and he's got balls more confidence than I do. I think I've gotten a lot more confidence since I even played him, but I love that he stands on his principles, and I love that he's like, I'm not gonna kill anybody, because I don't want to kill anyone. I believe that I can change the world with my music. And that was something that he stuck to. And I just loved his ballsiness. He just was ballsy, and he was willing to stake anything on that. And that was something that was really amazing for me. Maya, I mean, I can't really say a lot about Maya except she scares me. She really scares me sometimes. And there are definitely surprising things about her, but she is very, there are some things that we are nothing alike on. And there are some things that we are alike on. But she is not, as I said, I can't really go into it, but she scares me in some ways, which is very unlike myself. EO and I understand EO and I get him and I really love him and I have so much fun and respect, and he's fun to even play around just as normal. Like, I mean, I have. She
will occasionally break into EO just when we're sitting in the control room, and it's absolutely hilarious because I would give a lot to see Andraste and EO play off of each other.
Oh my gosh!
I would give so much to see that.
But I just, yeah, and Maya is an enigma to me. She's just, there's things that but I love it because it works so well with our crew, and it works so well her playing off of Mayhem as well. So, as I said, I can't really explain. She's not like me though. I am not, yeah, I would say that I did not make her with the intention. I guess the only thing that would be like me is that I can't really help it. I tend to want to be, I guess, without even realize it, I'm like, I'm the leader, and I'm not trying to do that. I just tend to start making decisions. And it's good or bad. That just is something I think I just naturally, whether it's good or bad, I'm not trying to say like, I'm this leader, guys. I'm just saying, like, as somebody naturally, I tend to see a situation and I think, you know, these characters give me the freedom without having that person on my shoulder going, no, you should let somebody else make decisions, that, you know, automatically I step up and I'm like, okay, these are the decisions we're gonna make. This is what we're gonna do. Who's got ideas? Okay, what are we doing with them? And that's kind of just, I guess, the only thing that I would say we have in common. So, there you go.
Some diverse characters.
Oh,
Yeah, I try not making characters that are basically me, because that's boring. I like making really diverse characters.
Well, Uzo's probably like 80% Warren.
That's why he's so cool.
I was going to say, like Andraste is basically me on steroids sometimes. So, and I have way too much fun with that.
So, hey, we know.
Let's go to Warren.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I've really put a lot into Uzo, the character, because I do feel like in an alternate universe, he would be me. I think I respect the fact that he doesn't want to see the world burn, but he definitely acknowledges the injustice. And I think in a world where I've lost everything, I'd kind of be in the same way. I might be a little bit more bitter than he is, but he is definitely has my values. You don't need to kind of start in the sewer to experience trauma and to, you know, appreciate what you have. You don't need to be born with an ailment to kind of appreciate your gifts. And I feel like I do that all the time with Uzo. I'm kind of seeing things through new lenses.
Because you just got eyes?
Yeah.
Dot.
Inspiration.
If we don't get inspiration, you don't get punspiration.
I think Uzo
It was
great.
I was happy.
is mostly me in that, like, anything I get as a bonus isn't owed to me, needs to go back. I do a lot of charity stuff in my free time, just kind of remind myself and put things in perspective. You know, he is the vigilante I wish I could be. And you know, you guys might debate this, but I really do think Uzo is like true neutral. Like maybe a little bit more chaotic. He gets involved when people don't want him to, and he kind of refrains when people ask him to participate. And that's mostly based on this is the way the world is, right? Like, as long as you're not picking on the downtrodden or taking that isn't yours, like, you haven't run afoul of Warren, you haven't run afoul of Uzo.
Yeah, I'd argue that he's a little bit that he and you are more chaotic than true neutral.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
because you're you know, down with the man type of thing.
Yeah, I mean they're
both have very much passion for that.
Yes.
You can see that it's a big part.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Uzo is my Molotov cocktail into the system.
Excellent.
Sure. He'll do well on a pirate ship, I think.
He'll do great on a pirate ship. Andraste might drop him off the edge. Okay,
It's all right. We're gonna get that the piers enchanted again. I'm gonna be walking along the bottom of the sea while you guys are sailing above. Yeah.
Nice.
Like, we got this boat, we got it with the aquarium big enough for 2 Uzos, and what does he do? Dispel magic. And it's ruined.
We needed him to not take points of exhaustion.
That's true.
So
That's true.
it would have killed him by now.
Indeed. I also think with your Cthulhu character that was present as well. Because it seemed like the opposite. It seemed like you were playing this very wealthy, well-off person.
Very much, very much. And I kind of love playing people I despise. But that's not to say in Solari, when I was playing half-orc Kismet, driven by fate, which I'm aligned to. I don't really think that there is any sort of course going. Things happen and you adjust to them. It's fated. It happened. Let's deal with it. You run into people at specific points in the same way you find music and you find different pieces of art that are meant to find you.
That's right.
Like,
Because every choice that was made in both people's lives led up to that moment.
basically.
By the way, I never got to tell you in person, but you are my hero. Thank you
For what?
for giving it to the man.
For
For the Kismet's last stand?
Yeah,
Kismet's
snaring
last
that
stand.
demon. Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
epic.
Finding him and pulling him down to the
I
ground.
have to
Well,
say,
That's pretty cool.
like,
amazing.
That sounds
I
a
can
bit
imagine.
I was really upset.
Were you there as
and
Gale,
knowing
or?
that you did that
Yeah.
was like, that was why I'm like, Warren's my hero. No matter what, Warren is my hero because that's, and I never got to thank you in person.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and Kismet definitely appreciates that. It's like that Facebook thread we had where we were all trapped in a box
That's
somewhere,
right, yeah, the
Or escape room.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Kismet's in like the corner. He's like, "Well, someone will figure a way out. Like, I'm just gonna sit here. Like, if it's meant to be, it's
Yeah,
meant
it's
to
right. Let's kick that door down. Go.
Oh, you already told me? His foot's stuck in the door. His foot's completely stuck.
Andraste's just like, get out of the way, I will firebolt it.
I can take it, just fireball through.
No.
be. I mean, I do not know how we got here, but you had had something to do with this.
No, it may look like my fault, and technically it is. All right.
It's always his
Thing
fault.
is that, let's just get out of here. Ruckus, please.
I don't know.
I'm
There's
working.
so many things we could do while we're here to pass.
No, we are not. We are
Get me out of here now.
It's getting rather steep.
He just gained his eyes. Don't give him too much to look at.
No, we always do dance magic dance.
Well, we'll go on to me for these characters.
Yes, please.
Okay.
These characters, whether I'm playing Gale, whether I'm playing Remy, or any of my NPCs.
The multitude that you play on Natural One.
And the
Very
Daves.
true. Yeah, well, I have one David, right? But
I love David.
thank you. So here's the thing. I always put. I mean, it's, you do what you know, right? So every single one of those characters I'm drawing from myself, whether for like Oliver, who's like, what do you want? You want something? Speak!
The shiny thing. The shiny thing.
That's me being able to just let go and be goofy. You know what I mean? So I really like the opportunity to do that. Ted, I think I really put just my love. I put kind of my love for everybody into Ted, who just wants everyone to be happy and be together. Remy, I put just he's a very extreme version of myself, where he's just all charisma all the time, all wit, and usually overestimating himself.
And that's why you have the rest of us to pull you back a little bit.
That's right. However, underneath all of that is this like very real layer of self-doubt that Remy has, which you know leads to a lot of stuff. Just in his decision making and whatnot, and leads him down some very upsetting paths. I think just in his own mind when things go wrong. For instance, when he almost died, he took it very, very rough because he felt like he failed, he's not good enough, and it just reaffirms all that self-doubt that he's already had about himself. So it's like an extreme version of that for me. So everything is pretty much myself, with some exception. Captain Hathaway.
I was going to say, please tell me Hathaway's the exception.
Oh yeah.
Please? Because Hathaway scares me.
Hathaway is
Hathaway
an
scares me.
extreme of an extreme. Is what he is. He's what I imagine an extreme would be. I don't think that there's like any real sadistic bone in my body, but if I were to be, this is how I think it would be, and that's where Hathaway comes from. So, yeah.
He's the devil.
I
Like a
really
vase.
like the idea of Ted,
Not a good
in which I feel. I mean, I do kendo, and I feel like I was always I had a chip on my shoulder because I felt I was always underestimated in there. So I put that into Ted. If you underestimate him, he'll kick your ass, and. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we saw. Historic beating.
Yeah.
Well, and that was something that I found very interesting about Ted, was that he expected to be forgotten. That was very interesting to watch, was that he expected to be forgotten, he expected to be overlooked.
I'm not going to say anything about that. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here.
I'm sorry.
Now that
There's a
actually
butt beat over there.
brings up a question I would like to ask for Ted.
Oh yeah.
When did he actually start feeling like he was part of the team and he really got close to the other members and really was like, I'm going to fight for you no matter what? Or fight
There were two moments. There were two moments for Ted for that. First and foremost was he almost died fishing with you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys, as a team, fixed that.
Yeah.
Right? Maya had to heal. Right? Sen had to pull it out. You had to get it off of him. Right? You had to use his axe to kill the Marlin. It was such a great example of what I wanted to see of the crew. Everyone coming together to save Ted, and he remembers that. So at that point, it's something that was in him, ingrained at that point, and then mayhem.
I was hoping.
Getting his
With
axe.
the axe, yeah.
Oh.
That was such a...
I was thinking of a different moment.
No, that was the moment where he was like, no matter what happens,
Yeah.
I am at your
That is a
side.
good moment.
Period.
Yeah.
I love
what
that.
moment were you thinking?
I thought it was when the arm wrestling contest finished, and then it was, it was a brief moment. It wasn't as triumphant as me getting his axe back, but I just thought it was a fun moment where it was. I don't know. I thought Mayhem was the only one to recognize him, and just like Ted thinking everyone would forget him, he was like, "He remembered."
This is
Pretty good imitation of his voice.
I love Kermit.
That was a precursor to, I think, like everything. He
axe
starts to
moment.
bond with you guys because of that, and then the fish or the marlin thing happens, and then he's like, "Oh God!" And then he loses his axe for so long. And you saw him; he was pretty distraught without that axe.
Yeah.
No spoilers there. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the answer to that question. Let's ask some other stuff, but before we do that, we should give away a book.
Let's do it. Let's give away a book.
We should give away a book, a D&D 5e book, right now, in the chat.
Whenever she's ready.
Yeah, good to go. Okay. Hashtag chaos, right now, in the chat.
Chaos.
Chaos.
To
Because
win
we
a
are.
5e book.
There he goes throwing gang signs.
We are
It is
chaos.
letters.
You are the chaotics. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Chaos.
Hashtag chaos. Do it.
All right, well, let's get back to some of these questions that were prepared for individuals and less around the table. Warren, where do you see Uzo retiring?
So I really have this like romantic vision of Uzo being an old, withered, mentor wizard who's seen it all, kind of helping to educate the next school of Waterdeep, educating anybody, and kind of. I see him basically being like a really old warlock. Unfortunately, the choices, the people, and balancing justice likely won't put his lifespan into his 60s or 70s. But if ideally he's with Randall and the children that are there have grown up and are now a force for good in Waterdeep or in the world, and I think I hope he can make it to that point because I feel like he's just like a college kid backpacking around the world now after he graduated, right? Gonna see the
Sure.
world, and then like at some point like sit down and apply himself to study, right? Once I feel like also he's really liking languages. So like he's gonna be like this old multilingual like warlock / wizard /
He's
whatever.
picking up Elvish really fast.
Yeah.
I'm really appreciating that, even as I'm keeping the tall halfling well away from him.
It's
I already
the
read
first
it. I hate that
language
book.
he's ever learned to read, even like ahead of Common, So I feel like he will learn more about his powers himself as time goes on if he's given that time. So retiring, wherever he chooses to settle, maybe this plot of land somewhere that deed he got for 10 gold might pay out.
We're working
maybe
on
not.
I'm excited to see where that goes.
We're working on that.
But
My bird home.
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
at the
weren't raised in the high
irregular
forest.
tavern.
Oh, okay.
At the irregular tavern, his study is basically a long couch surrounded by books before he knew how to read.
And ferns.
And ferns.
That was for Baga.
Yeah.
That freaking like jungle you have in the
yeah.
library.
That's a
Humanity's
part
great
of
for the books, I'm sure.
That's a part of Warren that wants to have that because, as I said, like my house is like plant hospice. I can't keep a plant alive. If you got a plant on the way out, send it to me. I'll keep it comfortable in its last days.
Luckily, we saw to that in Waterdeep. We have somebody who goes in and checks
Yes.
in tonight.
So
Oh God, what's your name? Lebo?
An old man in his
something.
study, and he's an advisor to many, is how I hopefully see Uzo.
Okay, I remember that. Remy was not included in that at all, so thanks for that.
Well, I mean,
Uzo is also a very, like
I mean,
Warren,
Augusta
very
wasn't-
solo character, and he has to work to put his trust into people.
I don't know. All of a sudden, I just got this whole thing of like, I don't know if anyone's read Frank Miller's The Dark Knight. Like at the end of it, it's like, Batman's supposedly dead, but really he's like
Spoilers.
teaching all these. Okay, I'm sorry.
how long has it been out?
It's been out since the 1980s.
I
Sorry.
mean, come
if
on.
it's
At some
spoilers,
point.
Too bad. Sorry. But he sees off with, female Robin, and they're like teaching him a whole
Carrie Vaughn. I remember. Carrie. I don't remember her last name, but it was Carrie.
Oh, you.
Yeah, I think it was
The female Robin. She was adorable. I loved
She is
her.
adorable.
Okay.
But that's what I thought. I thought of Uzo as like, Batman, like an old man.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. We have here a question from the Hefner.
Let's hear it.
Let's give
It's a question for me. It says, Bo, did you anticipate the cult-like following Ted is getting after you created him?
That's a good question.
Of course, that's right.
The truth is no. I didn't. Because I created Ted 2.5 years ago for a one-shot that I played with my girlfriend at the time and some strangers. And I had this idea for this character, this champion fighter that I wanted to do. And then when I actually started DMing and writing my own campaign, I put him in there, and it was only meant to be seen by my friends. I literally put him in there just to be a fun character for my friends to play with. So absolutely, I did not anticipate any kind of following for Ted. However, I completely get it. He's so badass.
He's basically the mascot / god for Natural One.
Oh, he's like
Yeah.
Thor. He'll put the hammer down.
I think
But he's also
that's what we said.
adorable.
Was he? Didn't that? No, he's the Hulk.
You think
He's
so?
the Hulk, and we made this thing of like,
Sure.
Yeah.
Ted's like the Hulk.
He's like if the Hulk encompassed Banner.
Yeah,
That's right.
pretty much.
Just a smaller banner.
The Hulk went into Banner.
I know exactly.
Everything that I didn't say, you heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
The
I watched
screaming.
it now.
I know.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
feel like okay.
Moving on.
shoot. Okay.
Moving on.
Onwards.
It's okay.
Sorry.
We didn't
okay.
make any spoilers.
Sorry, what?
If we pretend it
Hashtag
didn't
hipster
happen, don't spoil Dawn of Justice. Batman might die.
Anyhow.
Where to next?
Yeah, so thank you for the question, Hef.
Okay.
The answer is no. And thank you. All right, next up, we're going to go to Aubrey here.
Oh,
Aubrey, for Maya, why did you choose to be a true mage over a free mage?
there's some spoilers for that.
As much as you can say without spoiling.
Do it.
Okay, well, Maya feels like it wasn't really a choice. I want to say it that way. She kind of just became one. She feels like she kind of owes the state of Uzlam for her circumstances. So there was never really a choice. It was kind of, that was what was brainwashed into her. She's always been a true mage, as far as she knows. So that is something that she's having a lot of interesting thoughts about, but that's really it. She never really had a choice whether she was a true mage or not. That's just something she always was. So
Yeah, very
that's
good.
as much as I can say.
Yeah.
Let's take spoiling anything.
I like it.
That's spoilers, yes.
I'm excited for more. I really am. All right, and in that regard, Aubrey, how has your character changed from what you expected compared to what has happened to her so far?
Again, I did not expect her to want to be the leader of this group, or even somewhat. I mean, I know she fights Sen for the spot. They have their issues, but she takes charge and leads, and that's something that's very surprising to me because, again, I did not make her to be a leader. She was not supposed to be that kind of character whatsoever. I think Aubrey just naturally just kind of takes over that role. Good or bad? Good or frail. She surprised me. The drunk episode really surprised me. I did not expect her to act that way at all. Right. I that was completely unexpected. Her opening up as much as she did to Natrix really surprised me. Actually, their relationship in general has been really surprising for really good, in a really good way. Has been really surprising because Natrix has actually helped Maya change a lot.
Interesting. Oh.
Yeah, and Mayhem, actually. Mayhem has made Maya change.
Mayhem and his sweet idealism.
I mean,
just don't wanna
the
kill a
fact
dude.
that she was like, you're not touching Mayhem over my dead body, like that to me was like, that was a moment where I was like, holy crap, she actually cares about these people. And that was really surprising. Like her actually, and the way she was like, oh my God, Ted, like, we're never gonna forget you, Ted. You're always gonna be part of us. Like that was
Without
like you're our
spoiling
friend.
too much, I would say
No.
that Maya has been a solo kind of person for a long time.
Yeah, she operates alone. So she's never had, and this is not a spoiler because she actually opened up to Matrix. She's never had a friend before, and she, knowing that she let Matrix down and everyone down, has actually, in a way that Remy, you know, that it feels with Remy, how it like completely made her reevaluate herself and evaluate her choices and her decisions, and like, you know, it was really her confidence in who she is, and this is probably the closest she's ever been to being close to anybody without making any spoilers.
I like it.
You know,
I like it.
Fair enough.
Interesting.
All right, let's take one from there. Real quick, Zephyr271 won the drawing.
Congratulations!
Zephyr.
So you get a book, a mug, or a deck. So yeah.
Choices.
Quest
So
for
many
Chaos,
choices.
Whisper, Quest, and Chaos, and we'll get it figured out. Congratulations, Zephyr271.
Yay!
The sky's the limit.
It's always so, like
somewhat.
compelling to get the book, but like the deck is really cool.
The deck
It
is
is.
really
It's like
neat.
so cool. If you run a campaign, like the randomness it throws into, it's like
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's a good tip.
Can we take one from the community?
Pro tip.
All right. So the next one is from the Baroness
Uh-oh.
for Andraste.
Ooh.
Yes. Yes, Ghislaine?
Will Andraste do a reading of the Tall Half?
Please. Story time?
Right now.
It's on audiobook.
Oh my god!
I mean, I'm an audiobook narrator.
Yes, you have to. You have to read excerpts.
The
You have to.
problem, of course, is that
She has
it's
to write it first.
well. That's my NaNoWriMo project in November.
No, first you read it, then you write.
First, I have to
How it
write.
works.
That's not how it
You have to
works.
see it before you write
Then you have to
Books are improvised, right?
It'll be an Audible original.
This one is.
it. When you write it, you
Alright.
capture it.
Here's the thing. Andraste's really embarrassed about the tall halfling. She's embarrassed about
About the what? You're embarrassed of me. Is that it, Andraste?
not of you.
Sure. I'm rather tall for a halfling.
You are rather tall for a halfling. She's embarrassed about this particular book because she's learning a lot about herself in the process of reading it, and she's learning.
Rereading it and rereading.
No, that page is not sticky. Damn it.
But it is well worn.
Well, yes, it's very descriptive.
Is reading a private thing for everybody? Because when I read, I stand right here. But when Andraste reads, she takes the book into the woods.
Yes, yes, I freaking do.
Let's just say it's a book only she'll like. I don't think we're gonna really
People
connect.
do this normally.
I think you
Well, okay.
I don't see people reading in public.
Here's probably the biggest problem with it. If I do an actual reading of it, not everyone will understand it. He'll understand it because it's Elvish. He'll understand bits and pieces because he's learning. Remy will understand not a word of it
He won't.
because of Elvish.
Right.
So in order for the group to understand it, she would have to translate. No.
That's even more awkward.
She's gonna have
We
to
should
sit.
have a campfire night once.
Yes.
And just,
You should
just tell stories
You know what? Here's a way.
and
to do
demand
it.
it.
You could
How do you
just
pronounce
act it out, then they would get it. Be like,
The next one of these is a.
All right.
Need a volunteer.
I will say this: there is a bit that translates to the halfling, the tall halfling swept the elven princess off her feet, and then they banged.
We
is
start with that
indirect.
chapter. Right? Just read a paragraph.
Don't worry.
I don't quite understand.
Your insight was high enough to start figuring out something, my dear.
No, it's yeah, it was. It was.
I'm waiting to see what Remy figured out and what he's going to do about that.
Well, here we have a good segue into another question. And if we can get it up, I want to see who said it.
Charades.
Oh, it's the one about shooting the shot.
What?
The question is basically, when is Remy going to shoot his shot with Andraste?
I wasn't aware that there was a shot to take.
Are you sure?
I thought it was in the other direction.
I thought he missed it.
Yeah,
I thought he missed it
So
too.
you remember in the beginning of the show, well, not necessarily the beginning, but
Pretty close to the beginning. He was flirting with her from day one.
Flirting and always being like,
that's who
"Your
he
room
is."
mine." Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's from Mall Chucker Maps asked that question. I don't want to spoil things because there is backstory there for Remy and what stops him. Particularly, one of the big things that Andraste said to him during the show was, "Elves mate for life. Are you really ready to make that commitment?" To which he clearly is not. So...
Fun fact, though, he never insight checked that.
Well, that's true.
That's awesome.
He never insight checked that.
I was wondering
And
because
he
I was like,
will-
wait, elves made for life. I don't know.
Which is very
This
Remy.
is something I've never heard of.
So,
And
Very Remy,
Droste, you
very low
need to be nice
perception,
to the
very
poor
low
half.
insight checks.
why would I be nice to the poor halfling when he's breaking my heart?
It's funny at the idea.
Breaking your bed. What?
You said it, Damn it! That's my shot.
So the answer is not for the foreseeable future, because this is the impression that Remy is under, and he's not there. And that's all I can really say.
Fair.
Alrighty, let's come over here.
Never insight checked that, which makes me hilarious.
Sight is making Uzo blind. He doesn't see these obvious cues. Like, flirting? What is? I don't know. Like,
That's right.
I mean, maybe he just doesn't
Remy
deal with
just-
flirting.
Remy, do you have something in your eye? Why did you?
Yes, my
What is
finger.
that? What is this?
What is
I
that?
saw you do that to
It is
Andraste.
you don't know what a wink is.
Is that a wink?
It is. You try
mean-
it. There it is.
I
That's
mean-
the one.
I mean,
Nope.
technically-
No, that's it. You did both. Try the one.
Halfway there.
I mean,
No.
I mean, Remy.
Closer. Closer. Try lifting an eyebrow and squinting the other one at the same time. No. Okay.
You got it. Nailed it.
I felt like it worked.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, Remy, he has only had his eyes back for like, what, 30 days? Maybe?
That's true.
So
all
he's still
happening.
learning a lot.
It's still a show.
Well, a wink can mean many things, Uzo.
It's a wink. Okay.
Yes. Yes. It
How
could
come
be-
Baga has never winked at me?
Do
him.
snakes have eyelids?
No.
No, he does not.
I think you would need eyelids in order to wink. I think.
I don't think they do.
I don't. I've never winked, so I have no idea.
the Google.
To National Geographic?
I don't think they do. I think they have a film that actually comes
I
over
don't-
that it does
I think
this.
so.
They actually
Snakes
do
have
that.
no eyelids. There it is.
There it is. He doesn't. He doesn't
I'm
wink
gonna
because he has
start
no
getting useless
eyelids. That's why.
information.
Uzo's missing a lot of these because, like, the rooftop chase, he's just, like, wandering the high forest, and you're just like, wow, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you-
Rooftop chase. The one that you
There's a few.
threw somebody off.
that wasn't... I didn't partake in that rooftop chase.
That's true.
In fact, most of the rooftop chases you have not
the
partaken in.
nimble ride I chased.
There have been like 3 rooftop chases: the Drow and the Spine Devils and the Nimble Right. You've
Oh.
partaken in one.
The drow,
The Drow you
I
were.
needed to go somewhere, okay?
Oh, the things I could teach you.
Oh, man.
Oh Lord. I'm a little bit terrified of what Io could teach Uzo.
Okay,
Well, yeah, she, like...
I've got
Right,
put
where
your
we going?
finger here.
And that's how you play the flute.
That's how you play the lute.
We're gonna go over to Tiana here,
Hi.
and we'll open this up to the table because I always love this question. Okay, but before we do that,
What?
we're gonna do another giveaway.
What?
What?
Yeah, because of the amazing bits that everyone has donated.
Like
Thank you.
32,000, something like that?
I don't know. Here's the thing, though. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
And we want to give back to you guys, so thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys.
Thank
You guys
you.
are
Love you guys.
freaking
Thank
amazing.
you for
You make
sticking
this-
with us and watching us.
You
Yeah.
make this possible.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
You make this worthwhile. Like,
Yeah.
we come from all over the Bay Area, from all over Northern California to be like, we gather here to be with you guys.
Yep.
You guys are freaking amazing.
Really true.
We couldn't do it without you, like they said. So, hashtag thank you.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Thank
One
you.
word, hashtag thank you.
Thank you.
Appropriate. Do it.
It is.
Do it.
and for the support, and for coming and hanging out with us.
As we shoot the shit.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with our bullshit. Oh, wait, sorry, did I say that out loud?
Say what out loud? I've never heard
Bullfeast.
about.
So
There's
Tiana,
some,
Yes.
Okay.
we'll start with you. What is your process for creating a character? Is it something you say, oh, I want this race in this class first, and how do I make that work with the backstory? How do you go?
So it really depends on what I'm building the character for. My policy when I'm starting a new tabletop game is to play a class that I've never played before. So when we came into talking about the Chaos Agents, before we were even called the Chaos Agents, you already had a rogue, and Aaron was already pretty set on being a fighter. So I was like, okay, with those two classes, we have to have a healer. Okay, I'm going to play a cleric. And I just sort of went from there.
He does more DPS than any of us.
So
Yeah.
I did say we were going to come back around to the fire thing.
Yeah.
When I started playing tabletop games more regularly, it was when I moved into the words. I moved into a house with 3 other gamers. So we started a house tabletop game, which was great. And I played a bard. I played Arnora Greyaris, the bastard half-elf daughter of a princess. It was great. I had a lot of fun. And I got the spell Fireball then. That was the first time that I'd ever played with a Fireball because she was a lore bard and could loot everyone else's spell lists. And I fell in love with Fireball. So I was like, okay, I need to play a cleric because this one and this one are going to get themselves killed. Turned out I was prophetic on that one. So I was like, okay, I need to play a cleric. That being the case, what domain do I want? I didn't get further than light. Like, I know there are other domains after that. I've seen them since then. When I was flipping through the player's handbook, I didn't see them because I saw Fireball at 5th level for light domain. So I guess my big process for creating a character is, what does the party need? Like, if people are coming in saying, this is what I want to play, I'm pretty flexible. Excuse me. Are you okay with me mentioning a little bit about the one-shot on Sunday?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I've played a cleric here, I've played a sorcerer. I want to play a sorcerer again because I never use sorcerer points.
We're making plans.
We're making plans. I'm gonna play another sorcerer. I'm breaking my rule of playing a different class because I'm going to play a sorcerer again. I need to know how to use sorcerer points. Yeah. But on Sunday I'm gonna be playing a monk because I've never played a monk before and it looks really interesting. So I guess my big thing when creating a character is, what class haven't I played yet? What does the party need? And then from there, the story, how to say this? When I start a new long-term character, I don't know a lot about them, usually. I didn't write Andraste's backstory until it became relevant. I knew that she had lost her entire tribe because I had used basically Soul Survivor as her background. But I didn't know a whole lot about her. So when I create a character, I see them as basically being like a crate that sits in front of me with a name and a very basic description on the outside. And as I play the character, I'm a writer, so as I write the character, as I play the character, I'm prying open the lid and taking out bits and pieces as I learn about them. And so the character really informs what's going on. It's made it really hard to play a character consistently sometimes because different information comes out and I'm just like, well, what the heck do I do with this? And I mean, that plays back into what Andraste said to Remy. I had originally thought she had no interest in Remy.
Actually, let's go ahead and move along with this question because that segues really, really well into the second question I have for you.
Please.
How hard is it to keep your character session to session?
It's difficult sometimes, and I've actually been doing a Chaos Agents rewatch, and sometimes the inconsistencies are really easy to see when you're binging the whole show from beginning to end. I'm currently on episode 20. Pray for me, I'm getting close. But sometimes the character's emotions and my emotions get so tangled up that I'm not sure how to separate them. So, for example, when Remy was flirting with Eva, Tiana was getting upset, and I didn't know why. I was over here like, what the heck? He's done this before. We've done this before. What's going on? And then I sat back and went, Andraste's jealous. And I didn't realize that until I sat back and looked at it and went, oh, this has been coming for a while, hasn't it? Where she's jealous of these other people that he flirts with because she likes it? Question mark. But she's very much a young adult and doesn't quite know what to do with that. So she's just like, Elves Made for Life. Do you want to do that? No. Okay, bye.
You're so very cruel.
She's so very young.
That's true.
That's the problem, is she's so very young, and she's still figuring out the world, and she's only just experiencing the world outside of the forest in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
So, as far as the question of how hard it is to keep them consistent from session to session, difficult sometimes, but that's because these become people. And people are inconsistent. People, do things that are completely what seems like out of character, but it's another facet of their character. Following on what you said earlier, in one of my earliest acting classes, I was studying Stanislavski's method. And one of the things that he said that has stuck with me for a decade at this point was, of course you create a character out of your own soul. Where else would you get it?
Yeah.
So Andraste is me in some very important ways, and boy am I all over the place. Anyone who sees my Facebook knows full well. But
I do love the authenticity.
Yeah.
The authenticity.
And it's always very real.
Yes.
Because Andraste lives with all of her emotions on her sleeve, even when she isn't quite sure what she's doing.
Real quick, we are rated just now. Rated by Legends of Avantris. Welcome.
Thank you, welcome, guys.
Welcome to the chaos. We are doing a live Q&A right now with cast members from both Chaos Agents and from Natural One. So
It's nice to have everyone together.
Yeah.
Almost everyone. We need James.
Yeah.
Yes.
James, we miss you.
we are going to continue to ask some questions here. Right now we're asking questions of Tiana. Which kind of really ties in again with the last question. How do you grow a character, and what makes them change? And particularly, how do you grow a character, and what makes them change?
So, I think what's interesting about that is that I don't. What happens to the characters in the story changes what happens a lot. Like, Amy actually pointed it out, was one of the people who pointed it out in our last session of Chaos Agents. Andraste was balanced on the edge of an alignment change. Very, very close.
I thought she was talking about me when she said
No,
that.
she was talking about Andraste, I think.
About cutting this guy's arms and legs off?
Yeah, about being okay with torturing someone and constantly bringing them back. And she was right on the edge of being like, yeah, I'm fine with this because that's what you did to me. Well, not me, but.
Yeah. And I think that's very important because a lot of times we'll see Andraste as a lawful good character.
Anyone who sees her as lawful good doesn't recognize which goddess she worships.
Well, but I think it's true. I think it's a little more chaotic than that, but not extreme, not ruckus chaotic, right?
I see it as good.
Yeah,
neutral
like a neutral good,
yeah.
for sure.
Which is interesting because she sees herself as chaotic good, but she also sees herself as pragmatic good, where it's like, I'm not going to break laws unless I need to. I'm not going to break laws just to break them. But if the laws are stupid or they're going to hurt people, of course I'm going to break them.
It was really good to see that kind of growth there. Right? Is she going to be okay with this or not? And it was definitely anybody who was lawful good would never even entertain it.
And she did entertain the idea. She entertained it very strongly, where she was like, this is what you did to my people. This is what you did to my uncle, who I had to kill because of what you, specifically you, did to my uncle. And she very seriously considered an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And then she was like, but that's not me.
We're gonna open it up.
Please. We've been focusing way too much on me.
Wonderful answers. Thank you. Thank you for them. I like how one kind of flowed right into the other.
It's interesting that way.
Yeah. So we're going to take this one from Rex A676. How do you unwind after a show? We'll start over here.
Oh, I unwind with a long drive back home.
Same though.
Usually, how do I unwind? So the show, my job is like very intense in terms of like programming and logistics and stuff like that. And then when I come here, this is very intense on the opposite spectrum in terms of like creative which is great. So when I get home, I unwind by just like letting the light of the computer just like wash over me. Mindless gaming. I play League of Legends, unfortunately.
Why unfortunately?
Because it's like one of the most toxic communities.
I know that feeling though.
That was Rick and Morty.
There's also the BBC Sherlock fandom.
But it's, yeah, I'd say I smoke weed. That helps dumb things down a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, there's no depth here. I smoke weed, I play video games. That's how I do it.
Oh man, it's wonderful.
I'm living my best life.
Hey, avocados won the Nord Games book.
Congratulations!
Avocados.
I love it.
You're such a millennial, we can tell.
I love you so much on toast.
So good. And just so good by yourself, too.
That's
Salt,
right.
maybe some lime.
Let's go to you. How do you unwind after a show?
Drive home.
Yeah.
I live very far away. Sometimes it takes up to like 2 hours.
Oh my
or
God.
more to get home. So yeah, it's a long drive.
We do it for you.
But we do it. I do it for you.
Yeah, worth it.
Yeah, it is
And for
totally
us, for this, man.
Right.
Yeah, no,
This community that we've built in here.
studio family here. I love being here. I love everybody here. We are all actually, I'd like to think anyways, amazing friends and, you know, really supportive of each other. And that's really important to me.
Maybe we were at my birthday.
Yes.
My voice was wrecked for several days after that.
I know
didn't say
that
anything,
I
Warren, but now
didn't
that you
celebrate my
mention
birthday, but eventually.
I still haven't done anything for my birthday, I hear you.
Are you kidding? Not for lack of trying.
Tolkien movie, we need to do that.
Anyways, yeah, how do I unwind? I watch a lot of NCIS, and I write. Because I, too, am also a writer.
Fair.
So, and I play music, like at 3 a.m.
Nice.
Your neighbors love you, huh? Your neighbors love you.
Actually, no one hears me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, consider me jealous.
No one hears me. I'm not a loud player. I play guitar and piano and I sing. I don't know if that's really a...
Oh, that kind of playing music.
Oh,
Yeah, you know, I don't sing very, you know, it's not like, you know, bunch of drums and like, you know, it's not like that.
Yeah,
It's
I was
just, you know.
picturing drums and like shredding on an electric guitar.
At the same time.
Amp facing the floor.
Do you
like,
know who I am? No, I mean, I know I sing a lot of Queen, but,
There you go.
you know, but yeah, that's really it. I watch shows, and I do a lot of writing and I sing and I think a lot because there's nothing. I'm the exact opposite. I think way too much. So,
Not enough.
Is you an
unfortunately,
indica?
no, it makes me crazy. Crazy. Do not.
I was gonna say to you, sir. I cannot. Now that you mentioned Queen, I cannot think of the song "Killer Queen" without thinking of you singing. Like it's just ingrained in my memory.
it was
now.
so good.
It was.
So good.
Loved it.
I put it on because I thought it was gonna be like, you know, like let's everybody sing along, and there's only one mic. I forgot that fact.
No,
Only 2 mics, but still, and I was just okay.
I mean, it
well,
did turn into a sing-along, though.
it
Oh,
did.
yeah, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
how
That was
could
the
it
best
not?
part.
It's Queen.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for those who don't know, for my birthday, we went out to some karaoke.
It was so much
And,
fun.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
spit fat beats into that mic.
I did do some Hamilton, and I'm so sorry for that.
Why are you apologizing? It was great.
It's great. What are you talking about? You can sing.
That's
You
just-
actually have a very good singing voice.
You have a
No,
great
it's this
singing
man's
Thank you,
voice.
thank you. Actually, everyone there was very, very, very good. So it was wonderful to see.
Years of lessons.
Fire
Blow us out of the water.
Yeah, wait till you see a real karaoke champ.
Join
me out of the
us
water.
then.
Join us.
We're gonna go over here to Tiana. How do you unwind?
So generally, I'll go and grab something to eat at one of the restaurants nearby that's still open, and just like sit and think about everything that's happened in the most recent episode, and just be like. I also have a long drive home, not 2 hours long. I didn't know that was. Holy crap!
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have a video game music playlist that I just crank and roll the windows down because I need to stay awake on the drive home.
Fair.
And then I play Neverwinter, cuddle the cats, make a cup of tea.
I love that.
I go from playing D&D to playing D&D on the computer.
It's a great game.
It's so much fun.
Great game.
And even worse, I made Andraste in Neverwinter.
Right. That's right.
It's okay, sometimes I play
Alongside
Mass
with
Effect,
Ted the
so-
Fighter.
Occasionally, yes. It's
Yes.
great fun.
So I have a level 70. Now they just raised the cap to 80, so I got to work on that when I have time.
Time? What's that?
Yeah, yeah. But I have Remy the Fox on there, who was my max level rogue, and I also have Gale Stormborn on Neverwinter.
Yeah, Storm. I miss Gale.
He's got a little
I miss-
companion that he has named Kismet.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
because
amazing.
Gale and Kismet when we venture together.
Yeah.
That's perfect. But yeah, that's
Lucky they came across us in the desert.
That was.
Very lucky for that.
That was great. I loved it, like standing in front of the sandstorm and taking the brunt of it for everyone.
I am really
Epic.
upset I was not there for this.
Oh man, it
just
was
pisses me
epic.
off every time.
It really was.
But yeah, that's what I do to unwind. I go and get something to eat because I always forget to eat before I come here. Mostly because I have to leave at like 4:30 from my house in order to get here at a reasonable time because, oh my God, traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
California
Traffic today was awful.
It was
Coming
awful.
down here.
It's pretty awful, yeah.
There's Nat
We'll go
20.
over here.
I like to curl up with a nice book when I get home.
What are you reading?
Currently,
baffling.
That is not
That's why I know it.
That is not a relaxing book, let me tell you right now.
tense.
Sorry, what?
The Tall Half-Life was
Eventually.
a joke that was
Hey! Got it.
I actually just finished Red Rising, and I'm starting Golden Star.
Oh, snap.
Pretty amazing.
I know none of these.
It's a hierarchy kind of commentary book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Rising is pretty good.
Red Rising. I'm gonna have to.
I got a free copy outside of PAX Prime. The guy was like handing out free copies
Love
of his
that.
book just to generate.
It's
Yeah.
it's a real page turner. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't put it down.
Nice. Let's go over here to you, sir.
I just love talking about it. I just want to
yeah.
give this quickest answer. I just like talking about it.
Fair.
No, but after each episode, though, when we're all just like really hyped from whatever happened,
Right.
and we kind of just like talking about our favorite movies, I almost treat it like I would any movie after seeing it. It's just, what was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part?
Yeah.
What played well? What didn't? Those are really good moments to look back on and then talk about. And I don't know, just relive them.
How do you like last night's episode?
I have some thoughts.
Last night's episode was freaking crazy. I was so glad I got to be here and watch it live.
It never feels like there's enough time to honestly talk about
Yeah.
everything from each episode.
Yeah.
Like even directly after, that is. Because there's always like days later I'm like, oh crap, no!
That's me sometimes weeks later.
Still, yeah. There's definitely things in episode 1 where I'm like, oh, I could have fixed that.
There was in this last episode when we revealed the Frostworms was a very big, important part to me in it.
The Frostworms were so freaking cool.
Yeah, I really wanted to be able to showcase the might of Uzlium. I really wanted you guys to see just how much, like, they regulate it, but they also use it, and they are the ones who use it, and I wanted that to be burned into your brains. Fireball, lightning bolt, minute meteors going everywhere, you know what I mean? This kind of stuff. You know, Misty step in, dimension door out type of thing. These guys, and all pristine white with these very, you know a frostworm when you see one, and that's what they're going for.
Maya
right?
was
Yeah.
laughing.
Yeah.
Maya was
Oh yeah.
very. She's like, this is what you get when you mess with Uzlium.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Dothel said exactly that when dealing with the Drow Artificer, witness the might of Uzlium.
Right.
Still one of my favorite phrases I've ever said in a campaign ever.
It's 100% part of the indoctrination for sure. The greatness of Uzlium.
Yes.
And what it means to serve Uzlium.
Now you fucked with Uzlium. Bye, bitches.
Okay, for myself, I'm right there with Warren. It's weed and video games for me, 100%. I mean, Remy smokes herb in the game, and I did that, and I made a conscious choice. No matter what character I have in a game, you know, as a player character, this is going to be part of it. Whether in the game it's legal or illegal, is because it's something I really believe in, right? Because I've seen it help myself out through several different things, you know, chronic pain and other, you know, issues that are helped by that kind of stuff. And I from then on, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a thing. So when it comes to trying to unwind after these intense sessions with everybody, whether it's with the Foxy regulars or whether it's with Nat 1, it's one of the things I gotta take a nice indica, kind of calm down. I also like going over everything, so yeah.
Yeah, I tried smoking before sessions a few times. I wouldn't advise it.
No?
It's way too intense, man. I want to relax. Like, I can't, like, be wired up and relax.
Your love for the halfling leaf has certainly addled your mind.
It has, a little bit.
Exactly.
So Ted also gets pretty dank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You guys. So in my world, there's actually one nation in particular that has the right climate, the best climate for growing herb, and it's one of their main exports. So any of the pirates will have it, seafaring peoples.
You just
will
haven't
have
run across it yet?
Exactly.
I'm
Just haven't
surprised.
brought it up.
I wish it was like on the island. I'm surprised we haven't run into it.
I mean, Ted's not the kind that necessarily would just always have it on him like Remy does, but that's for more like Remy's reasons. for that. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, so that's that. Oh, goodness gracious. The Hefner
Hef, what'd you do?
What do you do?
has lost his goddamn mind.
A long time ago.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, has lost it again.
Continuing to lose it.
I mean, come on.
They're good
Let's
at
be
finding
fair. We love you, but let's be fair, you're a little insane.
He's
love it.
awesome.
You are awesome,
Awesome.
Lance.
Yes.
We love it.
What'd you do?
Subbed 10 more people.
Oh my god.
10 more gift subs.
Cheers, man.
My dude.
Oh my gosh.
Hef,
Thank you, Hefner.
Thank you so
you are our
much.
hero. Thank you.
That's
We
right.
give you a very nat 1 salute.
I will borrow this one.
Thank you. Sorry.
Dude.
Okay.
Missed it.
Also, I want to say we're gonna have to do something. I think for the Hefner for all of this.
I think
We
so.
are.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
to,
Oh, yeah.
have to do a thing.
Sorry, it's gonna happen. Too bad.
Sorry, man.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Thank you.
Spoilers, darling.
And congratulations to everyone who got subbed.
Yeah, congratulations. Welcome to the chaos.
Yes, continue to watch. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be
I
amazing.
love that name or the tagline.
I'm
Watch
going to go
the
right
chaos.
over here to you. I've got a couple of questions. for
Yes.
you.
That's
Being
good.
One of
Spotlight.
the ones that has the very least experience on the channel with tabletop RPGs. How would you say the experience has been for you now, being in this group of very heavy role play sessions, and how has that affected you as a person? What's your opinion, and how would you say it personally affected you?
I would say it's a very rewarding experience playing with people that know it a little bit better, because I can kind of go off of like how, let's say, how Mayhem handles things, and stop.
I did.
It is fun to play off of experienced characters because, obviously, since I don't know certain things, it kind of gives me more ideas on how I can play my characters, how I can use, I don't know, just certain moments, play off of certain things that I wouldn't necessarily have jumped in for. It kind of gives me the opportunity to explore certain things that I wouldn't have thought of. So, I don't have a specific example off the top of my head, but there are times when I notice that because of a certain action that one of the other players will do, I come up with something even better for my character. And that does build a little bit more confidence, so that's nice.
Yeah, and how would you say it's affected you personally as being part of the group here and playing with them?
Well, I've gained a new friend group. I've gained a little family here, so it is big change. It's a big change for me, and it is. It's been very boosting for my self-esteem to be able to play a character that's confident, and being able to have this environment it's different, and I haven't had something this welcoming. Let's say.
We're very happy to have you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
It's rare in a creative environment that you get to do something and no one critiques your choices.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful for that here.
Yeah.
You can just play. And your experience is shared, and it's not, most cases, not judged. I mean that in the best way. Yeah, sorry to
No.
take your question, but I completely sympathize or empathize. One of the
Empathize.
things.
Sympathize.
Yeah,
Sympathize.
Sympathize.
Semperfize.
No.
You're on film, and a director.
Get out of my brain!
Sorry, an empath.
No,
Can't help
when
it.
you're
Sorry.
on film, a director wants you to do it one way or another. If you're, can
It's
you play
impersonal.
this something other way? Or if you're writing, can I edit, that or this? But no, this is the character. This is how I project them, and like,
And no one's going, actually, I think Uzo would.
yeah, piss off. Sorry.
I love that about D&D. It's yours.
I actually got a DM from somebody who gave me like a decent character arc for Uzo. So I saw Uzo doing this, and I thought that was really cool. I appreciated it. I definitely didn't like push back on it, but I thought that was really cool. It wasn't in any way like a critique or anything, but yeah.
That's really cool.
It was just like here's where he could go based on
have
what.
you thought about this?
Sure.
Yeah.
I try and do that with my players on that one every now and then, like with things that are happening. What does your character think about this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And never saying that you should do this, but saying, have you thought about this? Because this is a thing that happened, right? I think I've done that even with Remy and on Andraste.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've had conversations behind the scenes about stuff with Remy and Andraste.
Yeah, for sure. Let's segue to the next question for Lauren, and this is kind of for the both of you, actually, Lauren and Aaron.
Okay.
So if people don't know, you guys are married.
Yes.
Yes.
Backflip.
For those of you who've joined in, that is true.
And they are
Surprise.
adorable.
So freaking adorable.
Oh my gosh, I love these guys.
We try not to shove it in people's faces, but you know.
No, their love is so sweet. Sweetest love, seriously.
My
It's
question
adorable.
to you guys is,
How did you feel about Natrix kissing mine?
That's gonna come up later.
Sorry, I didn't.
That's gonna come up later.
Interesting plot twist.
So, my question is, what is it like as spouses? Can you separate being here from being at home? Do you guys talk about stuff together? And what is it like being here and actually playing alongside your spouse? How does that change the dynamic for you?
Oh wow, we could talk a lot about that.
Ooh, this is a great question. He has no idea about a lot of Natrix's backstory, actually. I've told him pretty much nothing, which is pretty good for us, actually. We share a lot. But there have been really things that have been hard to keep secret from you, and things that I really wanted to share with you because I can't get to them yet. But I would say keeping them separate is not as easy as it looks, because there'll be a part where I'm like, oh, this would be a cool thing to add, and I want to like say it to someone.
It's like he's your confidant, and
Yeah.
But I
suddenly
can't
you
tell
don't have
him.
that.
Yeah. That's why I'm like randomly shooting over like an idea to you and be like, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. And usually it's like,
Let's do that.
This one has such a creative brain. It's fun. It's fun to watch her work.
I do come up with a few interesting.
I mean, so do you, Aaron. But you know.
No, I love playing off of her. Like, she's awesome to play off of. And
how about
Aaron,
you?
too.
I think, well, okay, so there's a history to my answer, only in that we've watched so many things together and that we kind of, we're like, we're gonna theorize about this show, but I also don't want to spoil it because I think we're gonna be right if we theorize this, right? So we're just like, we're gonna call this. We're gonna plan
We
this
put a
out.
push pin in it. I call this. I'm not telling you what it is. Bye.
But
You like theory
why
crafting,
would she
but
lie
not
about
playing
it?
off of each other.
What, really?
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh.
Really?
That really is.
How so? Okay.
But you don't tell each other what you're theorizing.
Nope.
No.
So it can't be a self-fulfilling prophecy if they don't tell each
They
other.
can still steer the
I don't
ship.
think
It's for a
so.
show.
We give each other like a but
Honest-
it's nothing past that.
She doesn't even know what's like the sheet, you know? I don't, oh man, I gotta say things. I can't say things.
Don't say things.
Right.
Dang
Don't
it!
say
But
things.
I can't, but it's obvious. Basic, you know, like Mayhem's been having his sword sheathed this whole time.
Yes.
And who knows it could be under that thing? Could be a dragon, who for all knows.
You still haven't asked what the amulet looks like.
Exactly. See?
It's a jackal.
I think we keep a good balance at like not trying to metagame it.
Yeah.
Even if we learn something, it's not like too vital. But I think we take great excitement and joy out of like surprising each other with whatever the plot
Yeah.
twist
Sure.
or whatever it's going to be. Like we'll put a pin in. I don't know why either of us would lie about what that pin may be, but we won't. But. Husband's honor, but
I swear.
but when we finally get to those points where we reveal it, it just makes it that much more exciting.
Yeah.
For us, I think it's a good balance we have to keep.
And what is it like playing next to her here on the day?
Wait, what?
When you're sitting next to each other at the table,
Yeah.
what's that like?
How does that change the dynamic for you from playing anywhere else?
I don't know. I feel it makes me more comfortable. I don't think it honestly changes me negatively. Oh, it makes me upset. I'm stressed out.
You're doing a great job.
See the thing she says? It's all supportive and.
How dare support your
I
husband?
always love the looks every now and then that you'll get from Natrix, like, or really, come on.
Like, come on, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, really.
I'm his better half.
That's a mood. That's a mood
My
there.
favorite moments are her combating Mayhem and being that demon's advocate,
Yeah.
you know, playing on his shoulder. It's awesome.
You're the little church mouse, like choir boy, and I'm just like, you sure you want to do that?
How do I corrupt this?
How do I taint this?
in game.
The golden dragonborn.
Clearly.
How
I
does
didn't set
Grodd
up all
taint
that.
that?
That whole honor thing, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Onra.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big left turn for me. Was not in the cards until that moment.
It was a good moment.
That's fair.
I'm
was good,
glad
though.
that you didn't hate me for it. I was worried.
Well, here's the thing.
Bro, it's a story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing
I don't
about
know what
stories.
question
They
you're
will
gonna
break you. The best stories
true.
break you and leave you crying, and then eventually maybe fix it.
Hey,
Maybe.
good.
That's the word I'm looking for here.
ask. That's not why I like Breaking Bad.
That's why I like the Dark Tower series. It shatters me.
Oh my god. You and I could talk for days.
Book 7.
We are gonna have
Book 7, I just
we're gonna
like
talk about
sob.
it. We're gonna talk about it off stream. You and I are gonna talk about it.
What about
Real quick,
Pennywise?
guys. Avocado says gifted a job.
Cool.
Continuing
that's
the
awesome.
sharing of the love.
Yay!
Good vibes.
Thank you.
All of the good vibes. Thank you.
Goodness gracious, that's lovely.
Community.
Yeah, right?
So beautiful.
All right, let's take one from the community now, shall we?
All right.
Here's an interesting one. How would the Foxy regulars handle mayhem? First and foremost, let's ask that by 3 Fingers 60. This is a 2-part question. First one is, how would the Foxy regulars handle mayhem?
Where do we want to start with this one?
I think he's a damn fool, really. I mean, honestly, it's kill or be killed in this world, and if you don't understand that, well, you should stay in your whatever paladin's temple or something, and stay preaching. Don't put on the sword and shield and gallivant about like you're not.
Inspiration.
Ruckus, what do you think?
Yeah. Okay. I'm a little surprised by that answer, and actually, I'm super interested to hear what everyone says because I think he would mesh better than Ruckus, honestly.
You think?
Only because I just feel like he just being such a gentle giant. He could help everybody feel a little bit nicer about themselves instead of this one, who just really doesn't really care about that. He's just thinking this guy looks totally like he could be eviscerated, and I think I can accomplish that. But Mayhem might step in and stop him.
I think that I would not trade Ruckus for Mayhem because Ruckus contributes so much to our friendship and our group. But I do not think we would find Mayhem to be a bother or an enemy in any way. I think he would get along with us, and he is more than welcome at the Irregular Tavern for a drink at any time.
I agree with that. I just think that we would have some talks to be had, and I would probably give you a hard time the whole time about it, and make fun of you for it.
Are you doing Remy the DM then? Because you're putting Mayhem through his paces.
I think I rather admire him because prior to being chosen by Lyra, I never really considered much in the way of religion, and I'm learning what serving Lyra means to me. So finding someone who is so steadfast in his beliefs is really inspiring, to be perfectly honest. I agree with Remy to a certain extent. Go ahead, make your tally mark. You know I agree with you fairly frequently. I do agree to a certain extent that I'm much more pragmatic than I think Mayhem is, in that some people just need killing. But I also think that tempering the some people need killing with compassion is really admirable, and I appreciate that. So I think that I and Mayhem would get on quite well, and possibly have some very deep conversations about
I think it would help
our
us grow.
deities.
That was what it is. I think
I
it would
agree.
really help us grow.
Because it would challenge all of us in very different ways.
I think around like the campfire sort of storytelling thing, I think if Mayhem was in around, we would definitely have very deep philosophical questions.
And we would probably be
debates.
up late night talking about our deities.
Those conversations could be their own episodes.
Right? They'd be really fascinating.
I have been thinking about Mayhem and Andraste though a lot.
So have I, actually.
Just how they would get along. I like that. I like.
And
that
I think in a lot of ways they would get on really well. She's much more pragmatic than he is because she's very much, sometimes there is no redemption. Sometimes someone needs to die. But how far into compassion could she be pushed by listening to Mayhem?
He'd try to push. He'd keep pushing.
And he would, to the point where she might hesitate at the wrong moment. It could be interesting.
Though I don't know if the Floxy Irregulars would challenge Mayhem as much as the Nat 1 crew.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
I think Remy would probably push him the hardest.
Yeah.
Of all of us.
Or if he was around when Uzo tried to murder someone.
None of us were around when Uzo murdered someone.
Uzo has been
we will never find out about that.
dispensing justice through Waterdeep his entire life.
Uh-huh.
Add that to the tally of unsolved crime.
I just remember my reaction when you were like, and I dropped them out the window like that.
I was
just sitting there like,
I was watching this with my mouth hanging open going, oh shit!
I was
Shit!
When no one came back in the window, came back with me, I was like, really? All right. I
right,
thought I was
let's see what we
wearing
can
it
do with
on my
this.
skin. I didn't think I don't know what you guys thought was gonna happen.
When you said you were going back, I knew what was going to happen.
Okay.
The moment you said I go back, I was like, oh no, he's alone with her. She's unconscious. Fuck.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna tie her up
crazy.
safely.
Nope. I knew better. I knew better than that because he was so pissed off about her using a spell slot.
So we're gonna get back on track.
Sorry.
Real quick, the second part of this question: how would the Nat 1 group handle Ruckus?
Oh my. I feel like me and him would get along quite well.
Probably.
We'd be quite a ruckus around town.
As if you aren't.
I would pay to watch that.
Ruckus just fell in love again.
It'd be trouble.
For the first time.
So I have to say something, like, actually, as EO, because EO's like, please let me speak. Please, could I please say something? So EO talks a lot in my head, guys. He's actually really mad that he's not in that one. You know? He's so pissed off. Anyway, so Maya, I think Maya would actually get along with Ruckus pretty well. He's easy. He'd be easy to handle for her. Because she wouldn't have to get all these emotions about things.
He's a very simple beast, really. He just kills and eats and kills them all.
Go kill that thing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but the problem is when he starts being emotional, he takes everyone off guard. With like a nat 20 insight check.
Well, it's even then though, it's more repressed. Like he knows that he read that thought. Yeah, and he's gonna keep that to himself until he needs to.
But going back, EO, in dealing with Mayhem, EO would first, hit on Mayhem, as you do. But actually, Mayhem and EO actually have very, very similar ideas about things. They're both very idealistic. Mayhem doesn't want to kill anybody. Neither does EO. EO does not believe in killing. He always believes there's another way. He refuses to kill.
But Sebastian can do it for him.
He didn't, okay, to be fair though, he actually did not say, Sebastian, kill that person. He said, you should be dead.
Yeah, you deserve death.
You deserve to die for what you've done.
Hint,
but I'm not gonna, no, it wasn't a hint. It was him being so upset and so betrayed. He goes, I don't want to kill you because I care about you. But what you have done has so deeply injured me and hurt me, and not only that, hurt other people around you. You deserve to die, but I don't want to kill you. I don't want you to die.
And then Sebastian was like, yes.
Yeah, I want you to think about what you've done, but it was just, he was so angry. That was like the closest he ever, when he threw that knife, it was not to kill him. It was to prove a point. It was to say, I could kill you if I want. I'm not going to, because you're not worth it. You deserve it, but you're not worth it. This is how much you've hurt me.
So
and then Sebastian took it as, carte blanche to do so.
So you think that aspect would get on really well with Mayhem?
Yeah, I do think. Which for what? Sorry.
For the not killing.
Yeah, for EO, I mean, it was interesting because having discussions, like, he thought that there are necessary killing, you know, but he personally, he didn't actually believe in killing. He really didn't. He believed in justice. He believed that the good should win. Do you believe about following laws? No. But in the sense of, like, only because, like, there are some laws that are corrupt and should not be followed. Like the idea of the law skill, how corrupt they were. Like, he was like, I have friends who are law skill. I know the law skill. And then they completely and utterly continued to fail him. And he's like, I can't believe in you. I can't trust you anymore. You guys are the bad guys. I can't. Why? I mean, that was his whole idea of things. But that's kind of what it is. And the fact that, I mean, the gods he follows are the gods of art and love. So he does not believe in killing. Like, he always believed there was another way. He hated the fact that we killed people. Like, Sebastian, he was just like, why did you do that? Like, I mean, when he spoke, and then when Sebastian blew up the ship, he's like, you didn't even tell me. Like, why did you do that? And that opened up some
liked him a lot.
So did Io. Because Io actually considered Sebastian to be a brother to him. And that was why he was so upset when Sebastian went and did that. And it was not, he cared so deeply for everybody on the crew. That was something, I mean, that's why he was so pissed off at everybody. So that's just, I just wanted to say that Io had to get that out. But
Maya
yes,
and Ruckus, on the other hand, would be peas in a pod, right?
Right, say this, but probably maybe.
Nice.
You're controlled. You're controlled. Ruckus would be controlled mayhem. Like, go kill that person. Good.
I think Ruckus would just push the rest of the team forward. Like, well, I mean, like, there wouldn't be this stopping force to prevent. Wait, is mayhem included in this question? Oh, okay. Oh, wow, they're not gonna like each other. No. They're not.
I believe it. I actually completely believe it. You're very Jekyll and Hyde in that aspect.
If I could do it.
A really good arc for the story of both of those characters to learn from each other and come closer together to the Aaron Acosta, but also Flores.
You remember?
I do. We're gonna keep moving. Thank you for a great question. 3 Finger 60. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We're gonna go over to Aaron now.
Okay.
All
Okay.
Right. All right. So this is kind of the on the nose question here for you. Is it hard to stick to your ideals in character even if it goes against the group's goals? And we've seen this with Mayhem, but I'd also like to know about Ruckus.
Yeah.
How would that work with Ruckus as well?
I think just making the wrong judgment call. 'Cause we haven't, evidently, Ruckus's intelligence, as I forgot, is pretty high. Confusingly high.
It's higher than Andraste's. It terrifies me.
Ruckus is like pretty
The
smart.
14.
Yeah.
It's higher than Mayhem's. I should have rethought that, but
It takes
it
a
is
smart
what it
guy
is.
to play a fool, and Ruckus has got us all.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting.
Well, it's
the
so
way you
focused on
play
killing.
it, right?
Yeah.
There are things that you reveal, like I can speak Elvish, that we had no idea. Like we were talking about this beforehand.
Literally.
we just had no idea.
It's like a
whatsoever.
bomb went off.
Right?
I was like, what?
There was so much to Ruckus.
There were slight hints at that when I was like, I'm not sure if I said it as character.
It was the book.
Yeah, no, it was the book, but it was even earlier when you first had it, and it was just kind of like leafing through over your shoulder at it, and he was like, oh, that's weird. Like, it came up before. There's an episode, but I can't remember specific.
Episode 20, actually, because I just watched this one where you actually said that you read the title and you started to say it, and then went and then said, the tall turd.
Not my best improv moment.
Very Ruckus.
Very Ruckus.
Hopping out of character for a second, like that was like, that's a testament to like Aaron the actor, like amazing playing there, because like all the subtleties were there, right, and we just missed them.
Yeah.
We really did just miss them. Like that's tip my hat, man.
Yeah.
Tip of the cap,
That was
sir.
a
Tip of the
long-
cap.
That's my favorite
That's
part.
why I really believe at home there's like this separation between you guys. 'Cause you don't say shit.
Yeah.
You'll find out. And she's like, you'll find out. And I'm like, oh my God, I fucking love you.
And we're all looking forward to finding out.
I like it. How about for Mayhem? How's that struggle?
Oh wait, did I answer? I think one more thing on Ruckus.
Oh, yeah,
I
go
think he would, when we get into more people that he's personally pissed off with, we'll see some decisions that may come to bite us. Like,
Sure.
let's just say if Mayhem was, or if Ruckus was Mayhem when Gron did what he did, I don't think anyone would have stopped him, and I don't think anybody could have stopped him. I think, but as May,
The DM could have.
I don't. I believe him, but I'm gonna say it.
Yes, the DM is God. It's always the way it goes.
Actually, I really wanted that to just kind of play out. I wanted to put you in that situation, see what you would do, see what if you would actually try and attack right there, see what would happen. Would your party members stop you? Sure enough, they did.
I was hoping they would. He was moving on instinct. I love the conflict as either character, just being able to combat something, whether it's a smart decision or a moral, ethical decision. As Mayhem, I would say it's as simple as him just wanting to stick to his ideals, and regardless of this person, this thing that we're fighting, I'll give it a second chance. I feel like everything's owed that. And yeah, I don't know, I love the positions we've been put in where I have to say that and stick to that even more. It's been great.
And for Mayhem.
Oh, that was, yeah. The other half was Mayhem. No, it was Mayhem, yeah.
Right.
I think you can't, try and push him to kill. And it's terrifying how you're gonna try and push me. I like that.
The honor thing
that.
is real close.
What I have planned for Mayhem, I think you're really going to enjoy, and it spans several story arcs, and I think it's going to be really, really interesting.
Mayhem survives for several story arcs. All right.
Oh, I didn't say that. That's what I had planned. We could go the way of Onra.
We'll figure it out.
Over Maya's dead body.
Very likely.
Over Onra's dead body. Over Onra's dead body.
No,
I'm sorry.
just over my, no.
I'm sorry,
Really
I'm kidding.
amazing the level of protectiveness that she has gained over Mayhem. It's been very interesting to watch.
Well, and that's an interesting parallel between Maya and Andraste, even though they're completely different in every other aspect.
Yeah.
Andraste's really protective of Ruckus. He is her little brother, even though he's like a foot taller than her.
Actually, I haven't said this in the
different
show.
reasons, though.
Sure, but
yeah.
it's a very protective sense of you touch them, I will murder your face off.
I love the protective dynamic between both shows. I was also going to say, I just remember that when the brother-sister idea came about, it worked surprisingly well. That was one of my favorite parts. In fact, one of the cantrips, Toll the Dead, I don't think there's a way, I mean, it could be brought up, but I'll just say it, because it's not like a life or, anyway. I thought Toll the Dead, remember there's one episode where Ruckus and Andraste just spend a night talking and trying to learn more about each other. I think that was a good bonding moment, and I think that was also a moment where he kind of learned, where you started sharing more similarities.
Yeah.
And where Toll the Dead kind of like, because I'd say up until this point he's still figuring out his magic abilities.
Yeah.
So with your help, it came into fruition.
Yeah, and Toll the Dead is one of the cantrips that Andraste's had pretty much since the beginning. So the fact that he picked it up.
And if you paid attention to the D&D Beyond, you'll just see one of those cantrips popping in and out. Because I never used it. But yeah, I was like, no, that one's not good. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it.
We had a lot of conversations about what that cantrip was going to be.
It was like mid-show, probably like whispering, like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, there was a couple conversations where I leaned over and went,
You're right.
Get something. You never know when you'll be able to throw it in the DM's face.
yeah, speak with animals.
Oh my
I'm
God,
very
let me
careful
tell
about what I
you.
give people as a DM. I'm very careful because I've seen this stuff.
It's really hard when you speak with animals sometimes. Oh, poor you. The spiders.
I should start talking to the ants. Let's see how many voices Thomas can come up with.
David 1, this is
I
David
hope he's
2.
watching. I hope he's watching.
I think he is.
Alan just gleefully just stopping all these poor and Eo's like near tears, like, oh my gosh, the screams, I can't get them out of my head. Oh. That was
I want to ask a question from the. We'll come back to one more for you, but I want to ask a question from the community real quick. I think this is mainly at me, so we don't have to go around the table, but we can discuss it. Have you ever thought of an even level fight with everyone in a one-shot? And the truth is I have. 100% thought about it. I've thought about doing a crossover to see if we could do like a 3-on-3. Like, let's take 3 Foxy Irregulars and pit them against 3
Batters.
One. Yeah, true.
That'd be interesting.
And see where that goes. I've also thought, hey, if we could bring in like other people from like maybe Ukador, if we could like get that together and do a crossover Ukador Quest and Chaos type thing, I thought that would be a lot of fun.
Make
to
it
do.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Battle Royale.
it would be a battle royale, or you could do teams and see what happens, what combos. In particular, there was some talk that we had done previously about the possibility of certain characters going at it.
Yeah.
And it would be really interesting to see. It would be very, very interesting to see.
I have had that thought specifically towards Remy because of our first encounter.
Yeah.
And so whenever like the Foxy Irregulars, like we were talking about Samurai Champloo, and like not a spoiler, one of the last scenes was when they're both battered after like the main mission, and they're like, "Hey, we've got a score to settle." You know? They never really found out who was the better fighter, and we never really got to settle
right.
that. And that's always been in Uzo's mind, and I think. Like in his like imagery at the end of whatever our quest is, he like pulls his spear out, he draws a line in the sand, and he's like, "First blood loses."
Let's go into the forest real quick. Let's do it there.
So I've thought about that as well.
That's
Sorry.
cool. I would love to do it. I've seen some of the Critical Role stuff that they had. I really liked the idea of the arena that they did there, where you have like traps and fire shooting and maybe an acid pit or something like that. some dangerous stuff to make like stuff that Ruckus might do. With his pushing or something like that. Grab his shield out and knock
Shield bash someone,
over.
sure.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
To make that a little more effective and whatnot. So I think that we could do something really, really fun with that. So thanks for the
This
great
is
question.
like a
Yeah.
Star Trek episode. I'm sorry, Jim, but if we don't fight to the death, they will kill us both.
Right.
Amok time.
Goodbye.
Well, and when we were talking about when we were talking about a possible conflict between the Foxy Irregulars, Tiana the player, Andraste has never even entertained this idea, but Tiana the player was like, how would Andraste do against her teammates? And I think she'd hold her own reasonably well at the level that we're at right now.
I think so.
I don't know.
I
It's
think
a battle
Andraste would do very
royale.
well.
What did
I
she-
don't know who the winner is.
I was about to say, how much damage did you do most recently?
52.
Okay, so she's got a good chance.
But I critted.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to crit in order to get that kind of damage.
Is that a level 3 spell?
Yeah. No, well, yes, it was a level 3 guiding bolt, so it's a first level spell.
Counter spell.
Yeah, but you can only do that once.
You can do it as many times as number one, he has a reaction, but also as many slots for that spell.
It's a third level
How many
spell, though,
slots?
isn't it?
2.
He has 2 slots. All of his slots are second level at this point, or third level.
Third level.
Third level. All of
Really?
his slots. He has 2 slots. That's how warlocks work. All of them are at third level. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I've got 9 spell slots,
that's true.
and I have multiple cantrips, so we could go.
Won't last 9 turns.
There it is, guys.
I gotta see
Here's
this.
the truth. Remy would, because I already have a strategy to kill you all. I have thought about this a lot.
You're the Batman.
You're the Justice League. You think the former street urchin hasn't like completely thought about like if things go haywire?
Is Andraste
This is
really
running
the only
wild.
one who hasn't thought about this?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Ruckus.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
She really is the innocent here.
Outside of metagaming, the way you build your characters, I'm afraid of fear spoilers. Any character up against any one of my characters, specifically against any one of Bo's characters, just because of how we build, like their stats differently.
Yeah.
I just gotta go with the flow.
Yeah, I'm very much a min-maxer.
Yeah.
We didn't ask this at the table, but when I create a character, I will first and foremost say, well, what sounds cool? What do I want to do? And choose a class. So with Remy, it was like, I want to be a rogue, and let's see. Halfling rogue would be great because of certain abilities that you get with that, which he has exploited the fuck out of.
He really has.
Hide behind a person, gain advantage, move through people's space very easily.
Halfling rogues are fun.
Yes.
I've played one.
And in particular, the swashbuckler. I said, oh, this would be a halfling pirate. Yes. Absolutely a half-wit pirate. Oh, and by the way, this is what I'm going to do with him. So I try and take the concepts and see what I can min-max there within them and make whatever concept I have the absolute best. I have built a number of builds that I've never even played, right? But I was like, this is what I would do. For a barbarian, oh, you better watch out. You think Ted's bad? Oh my god. Imagine if I gave Ted, you know what?
Nope.
Imagine if I gave Ted 3 levels in Barbarian and now he rages, right?
Yeah.
Takes half damage against everything but psychic.
Oh, come on.
Gosh.
Yes, it would be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's good exercise. I should just like, anyone should just like create a character out of practice and like set them to a level and see what they
can do with it and how to build it. Like I tweeted the other day, I built Remy out to level 13.
Which was really cool to look at.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary stuff. We're talking like 3d8 plus 5d6 plus critting on 19s. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Shite.
every attack.
Yeah.
Every attack and advantage on every attack. And he's got 35 movement. And like it's.
I'm really bad at min-maxing characters.
Oh yeah.
I'm all about character. Like, it's all about what is the character, what is the story, because as a writer, I can't help it. But it's all about, like, what is this character, what is their motivation, what inspires them, what scares them. It's more about the character's flaws and strengths that are more important to me.
Yeah, I get that.
And what, I mean, and that's how I built Io, that's how I built Maya. I mean, like, you and I talked heavily about Maya beforehand, about everything in secret, because of course, we built up this really, I mean, there's still a lot that needs to be worked out in certain places, but we
There's still
already,
a lot that you don't even know.
right,
That's
there's
true
already
for
a
all of you.
lot that, that was put in that, and a lot of that had to do with ideas of, like, this is the character, this is what I want to explore in that character. Not necessarily like,
Absolutely.
what spells can I use, what is that, so it's an interesting. Right, so my characters may not be min-maxed in the most.
Which is absolutely fun.
but-
There's different styles for everyone,
but
as long as you're
they
enjoying
are
the game.
depth, yeah.
And that's what's
But
important.
I like to think they have depth,
Yeah.
and that I like to
Absolutely.
think shows.
Absolutely. We're going to, let's see, get back to you now for this question. We're going to ask this of the table as well. Good segue from that. What is the most important aspect of the game for you as a player?
I could not relate more, because I'm also bad at figuring out mid-maxing. I think I'm maybe thinking a little ahead at level 6 for Ruckus. we're at level 5, everybody. But so I think the most important part is the role play. The improv environment. Like, what character would play best with most likely any group. I mean, before we really didn't know what we were getting into, gameplay wise.
Sure.
But it's just, I just like figuring out what character would be more entertaining to kind of everybody be like, well, why would you, like, I love when you two were just at one episode, you never know what he's gonna do next. And it's my favorite
But
part.
you can count on Ruckus to be Ruckus.
yeah.
Whatever the hell that means.
Predictably unpredictable.
Yes.
When we were in
Wild
the
card.
forest and we were like,
You're the
what should
Joker.
we do? And it's like, screw that. What would Ruckus do?
Yeah.
And like, I was like, this is the dice roll that we've been waiting for. Yeah.
Throw out a bunch of animals.
I love that. Naming all those animals, that was so much fun.
See, that's why also I think we need to get him more magical items and hopefully more different bags of tricks to keep naming things.
The magic items you choose, I feel, are very, very important too, because they add so much to the character. Like the slippers of Spider Clan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Added so much.
Right?
It helps me.
This bag of tricks has added so much to the Foxy regular.
The butter knife.
The butter knife!
The butter knife.
The butter knife.
I'm trying to remember, was this taken or gifted?
No,
gifted.
it was gifted to you because we were all buying silvered weapons, and you asked,
Give me your-
just give me whatever your cheapest silver weapon is, and there it was, freaking butter knife.
Smirked when he did it. I remember that.
He did, and then we were all like, he did it. He did what?
I would definitely final answer just the improv of it, like the yes and too, like everybody being in character and just going like, yes, I would do that as this, I would do that as it. It's amazing. That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Let's move on here.
I would say I share the similar sentiment. Finding like a certain persona that you want to like embody, and kind of like basing a character off of something that you love or something that you want to be, having that like that ideal, and being able to kind of be that for a minute, be able to like change who you are in a moment. It's nice because again, you can be whoever you want to be. You don't have to be constrained by who you are. You can choose who you are, and that's a beautiful thing.
I agree. I love that about the game.
Yeah.
It really, really is one of the most important aspects, for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Tiana?
I'm going to sound like a broken record repeating everyone else.
See if you can do it verbatim.
So I play video games, but I'm very particular about which video games I'm really into. And the ones that really capture me are the ones that are heavily story and character based. So it's Dragon Age, it's Persona 5. It's the Persona series, but Persona 5 was the one that dropped me into obsession. And I enjoy playing Neverwinter, but I'm not into it like I am with other games because
it's very different. Right?
It is. It's very.
An MMO usually doesn't give you the experience of a regular RPG.
Of a story.
Except for the Old Republic.
I'll take your word for that. I haven't played it.
KOTOR. Oh yeah, KOTOR
Well,
for
it's
life.
BioWare. It's BioWare.
It's BioWare. That's
So
why.
And
It's why.
BioWare's real good at that, like Mass Effect and
it's very much like that, but an MMO.
yeah. So the story and the characters are really important to me. And I mean, I came into what became the Chaos Agents not knowing anyone. I came in because of an audition. I hadn't met anyone except Thomas and Amy outside of the audition. And I came in and was like, what do I do? Who are these people who are around me? And then they, gradually over the last, what is it now, 8 months, 7-8 months?
It's flown by.
It really has.
Yeah.
This has become one of the most, probably the most important part of my week, to be perfectly honest, because of the characters that we have created, because of the relationships that we have formed as a studio family. Like, y'all are really important to me. So, I think
Hard thing.
I think the most important parts of the game for me are building the relationships with my friends. Because I mean, why the heck do we do this?
Yeah.
If we're not having fun, we spend 3.5 hours playing a game, and if you're not enjoying it, what the heck are you doing? And building the character and building the story, like I said, I came in with Andraste very kind of half-formed. And then we started developing, and then I started taking plot moments and being like, no, this is my story. I'm going to be a part of this story, and not being a passive observer like I had been for a while. And then I started writing about it and wrote 6,500 words about it.
Nice.
Because of that, we have what the Foxy regulars have been going through this entire time now, since Waterdeep.
Yeah, Thomas built what's happening in the High Forest based on what I wrote.
Wow.
And on what Nord Games has given him to screw with us.
Oh, it's been so good.
It's been amazing. So I'd say character story and the fellowship that we share is the most important parts of this for me.
Aubrey.
I mean,
Yeah, no.
what
are you gonna
Like, for me, it's always about the story, and it's about the characters and how their relationships form and grow and evolve. And, you know, if it doesn't change you a little bit, what's the point? You know,
That's good.
I mean, I grew up on, stories are always so important to me. Growing up, you know, my mom was a writer, and she is a writer. She's still alive.
Happy early Mother's Day to your dear mom.
Yeah. One of the things, we actually would, we would travel from Utah to California a lot, and we did not listen to the radio. Instead, my mom told us stories.
Oh, man.
And, oh yeah. I
That's so
mean,
cool.
Yeah, so that was what we would do. And so that kind of instilled that whole thing. And then I got really into gaming and games. And like I said, Mario RPG was one of the first games that I was really into. I started getting really into reading. I read voraciously as a kid.
Same.
Those were my best friends, you know, growing up. And then, you know, I got friends who shared that. And, you know, I have a friend that I'm writing a story with, and it's always more important of like, what are these characters, what are their growths, what is the story? And that is really important to me. And so it's, the improv prospect of it is like also just the icing on the cake, because here's a situation, what are you gonna do in this situation? And how does that change the character and how does that make them grow, to me is so important. And revealing things about the characters, that is always, the reveals always
So satisfying.
so amazing, so satisfying. I mean, and I love going on a ride with the DM. Like, I mean, I may be a little guilty of being a little passive, only because it's like, I want to see what you have to throw at us.
I don't
and
think
wanna
most
see.
people would accuse you of being passive.
No.
No.
Really?
I think you're
No.
very active, yes.
Okay.
As a DM, yes, very much.
Sorry, does it ever annoy you?
Yes.
I will.
There are times I'll be in a cutscene and you'll just go right on.
Sorry.
Okay.
I will do my best to refrain.
Well, it's just part of learning, right? And doing it and finding that right there. But there'll be times where I'll be in the middle of this, like at times. And
I'm so sorry.
You'll
It's
just cut me right off and do this, and yeah. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Like,
It's
see
okay.
now, I'm just gonna go disappear for a while.
No, like I said, it's part of it.
The story is advanced in her mind.
There's
There's two stories.
there's
okay,
an X
but-
button on cutscenes
Yeah.
for a reason.
No, but
Who skips
no, but
the
you're
text?
right. You are right, and it's just because I'm like so into what's going on. But I apologize. I do not mean to step on you, and that is.
That happens.
I will do my best to.
Well, and I mean, I mean, watching back the old Chaos Agents episodes, I have secondhand embarrassment a lot of the time watching myself, going, "Oh my God, did I really just?" And then I've gone and apologized to Thomas before because I'm like, "I stepped on you. I am so sorry, Remy. I stepped on you. I'm so sorry. You stepped on me too, though. So I think we're fair."
I apologize for
And
that.
I think, you know, my apology to you. I think I just got so Solari really pushed my buttons a lot. So it was really hard in some cases. So I think I probably passively aggressive pushed some of that on you, not on purpose.
No, I don't think
but
necessarily it's on purpose. Yeah.
It's on purpose.
Yeah, of course.
So,
of course.
yeah,
So I don't
that's-
think there's any maliciousness behind it at all.
No, it's not.
all.
I'm just so into what's going on that
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I gotta act, I gotta do something. So, yeah.
All right. To Warren,
What
most important aspect of the game for you?
most important aspect of the game to me is discovering the world. I think I am the most amateur D&D player at the table on Chaos Agents. I'm pretty sure I am. So when maybe
Really?
third time
Even me?
ever.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh,
Okay.
I think you and I are actually pretty well tied because prior to Chaos Agents, I'd played a little bit of Pathfinder and a home game for like 6 or 7 months, and that was it.
Well, in that, like putting a lot of myself into Uzo, you know, I think it kind of like it works as a metaphor where he's just discovering the world, and like I'm very much just discovering how rich this world can be as well. The blindfold has come off. So the best part about it for me is kind of playing on what you said before about like, wait, I can do that. I can do that. You know, like, that's pretty cool. You know, and when I developed the character, right, I think more story first than min-max because like I was just like, I'm gonna mess up this, but like, goddamn, the movie in my head is gonna be epic.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
I don't know what the High Forest looks like to you guys, or like what the streets of Waterdeep look like to you guys, but me, it's like I could probably paint you a picture. It's pretty vivid.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the best part about it to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
that's a great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of got to echo so much of what you guys have already said. I don't want everyone to think that all I do is min-max. I put a lot of thought into my characters and my NPCs, of course, because story is paramount, right? Story is what we're here for. Especially as a DM, especially on Nat 1, I think you guys can tell it's about 65% story to 35% combat. And I did preface it with that when you guys came in. I said, this is going to be how it is. You will have combat, but it will be meaningful. and it's going to challenge you, but it'll be part of the story, right? I don't necessarily like combat just for combat's sake. Yeah, you got to dip into that every now and then for sure, but for the most part, it's all about story, and getting together with all these people and being able to tell that story together. For me, it's very much the story is my, especially with Nat 1, the story is my soul here, right? It's the art. It's what I am writing and what I am sharing and what I'm hoping evokes some kind of, or elicits some kind of emotion from everyone, right? And that's what I think everyone wants with their characters as well, that story that's going to elicit the emotion from you, from the DM, from the people watching. So really, it comes down to having a good time and being able to share my soul, basically, is what it is, to sound really fucking pretentious.
I liked it.
That's not pretentious.
I mean, Remy gets his pretentiousness from somewhere.
All right, I wasn't going to say it, but thanks.
Glad to help.
Remy's just pretentious about his whiskey. Chug! It's not.
That was a little salty.
You put salt on this bourbon?
So here's one for the table. That does it for all the regular questions that I had for everyone. Here's one for the table. How did you meet in real life? And I think the answer is pretty clear for most of us here, right? We all met here with Quest and Chaos, usually through the audition or through a mutual friend. Met Quest and Chaos. So that's pretty easy to answer, but how did you two meet?
Tell us a story.
Do you want to say it, or do you want me?
And that's by White Rabbit 65, by the way.
Oh, hey, White Rabbit.
Thank you, White Rabbit. I don't know. You start.
Well,
There
I
was,
don't quite remember. You know,
okay, you know what? Now to dig myself out, I do remember. It was, but we've been high school sweethearts this whole time. Another plot twist.
Aww. Backflip.
And honestly, I want to say, the grade was either was
7th or 8th, I think.
I think it was 8th, because it was right before freshman year when I was about to go, and all I did was I saw her just in the hallway, and I was just like, oh. And I was a heavier set Aaron Acosta / Flores back then, and so I wasn't that. I just didn't hang out a lot. I don't know what the point of me. Anyway, I'm gonna divert because I saw her in the hallway, and we were. I just thought she was so cute. I don't know. I don't like getting mushy. That side of Ruckus comes out. I don't like doing emotions, but I got really emotional when I said I didn't cry in the hallway, but I saw Lauren.
I mean, look at her. She's so cute. I would cry.
Didn't cry.
What do you want me to say?
I'm so sorry, my dude. I'm so sorry.
Openly.
In the corner.
Yes, like a man, I went to the bathroom and cried.
Crying is a man thing. Right. Just true men.
It's either or. But that is honestly the most vivid memory. I'm a bit of a hopeless romantic, so I saw Lauren in the hallway, and I literally was a bit speechless. I was frozen. I saw her, but she was shy as well in high school, and I mean, we were both understandably, and just kind of went on her own way. We didn't really hang out too much, and then our friend groups kind of collided eventually. And I'd say it was freshman year we started becoming friends and actually like getting
Hanging
closer.
out a little bit,
Got
talking.
Got a little closer. People made fun of us saying, "Oh, they're dating," and then
Leave room for Jesus and his 12 fat disciples.
yeah, we had
Not kidding. Literally told that many times.
we had idiotic teachers.
Far away from each other.
Yeah.
It's because we were sitting this close.
Yeah, very restrictive. But that
doing it.
you can't. Yes, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
So take that, because we're married now.
Oh, you're saying it worked.
It did.
Yes.
Oh,
Reverse psychology there.
it did work. Oh my God, is that what they're doing?
Damn.
Were they evil cupids?
Mrs. McGee was.
I don't want to name. I'm not gonna name it.
That was all I was.
But it was us. Like our friendship grew that in freshman year, and around sophomore year, there was homecoming coming up, and I knew exactly who I wanted to ask. I planned out the whole thing.
And when did you ask it?
At lunch?
No.
No.
Oh! Okay.
All I knew was by the tone of his voice, he was wrong.
Upward inflection?
I forgot. Only because people were like, oh, you're doing it on that day? And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I? It was Valentine's Day. Oh! It was perfect timing. Yeah, I really am frustrated that someone was like, you're doing it on that day? Really? On a day meant for love? Yes.
Like, damn.
Yes, sir.
That's hardcore. I salute you.
Well, I actually had other friends kind of, when she said yes, I had a go sign. So when I was like, do you want to go to homecoming? She was like, sure. I had my friends at the side
middle,
with,
sure.
Yeah, well, sure, why not? And I fell in love.
I was completely indifferent the whole time.
Oh, totally indifferent.
Yeah.
High school Aaron and high school Warren probably wouldn't have got along, because when you said that, I'd be like, bro, it's Valentine's Day. What if she says no? I'd have planted that seed.
I think,
Like, dude,
I
don't do it.
No, I think we would have got along because I pre-planned for the no. I basically had a yes signal and a no signal for it. Yes, I had a no signal for what was about to happen. When she said yes,
Had a revelation.
Pull me out.
Wait, what was it?
Okay, it was basically just don't. Okay,
Just
when I asked her, "Do you want to go homecoming?" and my friends would come up with streamers that I bought that would, like pop off and be like, "Yeah, you said yes," and but the way she was sitting, they were behind her waiting, and I was just okay. And I was like, "She said yes," and to them, and I was like, "Yeah," and then they read up. But if she said no, I wouldn't hold against you. But
The
if she
crestfallen
said,
look on your face.
yeah,
when
if
you
she
give it
said no, I'd
away.
have been okay. All right, thank you.
Just the awkward, like, bye, sorry.
Like, don't do it. Don't waste those streamers. I'm going to keep them
I envision,
for tissue.
I envision like this campy romantic comedy where she like says no, and then your friends come with
That's why I had a no signal.
like for some reason the marching band passes in front of them and they don't see it, and then they're like, okay, we're late.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
The whole time the marching band's playing.
Speak up.
A single tear.
I paid them really well. I'm not sorry. They gotta finish their song.
Wait.
No. The marching band. I'm just kidding.
In this hypothetical part.
The only thing I paid for was the streamers and the corsage, and parents had the tuxedo for me.
Aww.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, thank you.
That's lovely.
Great story.
Aww.
She turned almost as red as her lipstick.
That's how you do romance right, guys.
There you go.
Yeah, seriously.
There you go. So here's the next question. For everyone creative in the group, how many is that? All of us.
All of us.
How do you get your inspiration? And this is by Owen Templa. What inspires you? Where do you get that inspiration from?
Coin or?
I was just thinking that.
Where do you get your inspiration?
I have my inspiration
From
from
the right freaking
Yeah.
here.
From the lovely community. And
Yeah, that's right. From the community. Warren, how about you?
Man, I don't know.
All right, that's fine.
Inspiration, like, I get inspired to do a lot, to express myself in a lot of different ways. The question is like, am I too lazy to like act on that inspiration? My binder full of like ideas is gonna pile up and topple over and crush me to death before I can get to complete them.
That's my to-be-read pile. I hear ya.
But like inspiration usually comes from something I observe. Like I mean, I do find a lot of things really beautiful about this shitty world we inhabit. And I think I'm driven a lot to kind of make it a little bit better place, right? Like for instance, I do like VR sculpting, right? Like not very well.
Competitively.
Yeah.
Competitively, yeah.
I like what you. I like what I've seen of what you've
Thank
done.
you.
It's pretty cool.
But when I create stuff,
He has a YouTube channel.
like I see someone else using what if my crappy cup that I've made can inspire somebody to innovate on that and make like something really beautiful, like, I'm like, hell yeah, like that's great. So the inspiration is to just like put something out there. I got like a reminder to myself, like, bored, create.
I like that.
That's nice.
That's
So I'm
cool.
not, like
Almost like an
twiddling my
affirmation
thumbs.
type of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Are you bored? Make something.
That's great. What about you, Aubrey?
In 2 minutes or less. Because I know we could go on
Diabolical.
forever about this.
Tell it.
So I guess in 2 minutes less.
I mean, that's just me being facetious, dear.
I don't know. I just I'm facetiously, I guess, facetiously everything. Actually, I just kind of suck at like living normally.
Fair.
Like I kind of am just such a creative person that it's hard for me sometimes to just get my keys in the door. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like I actually have a really hard time doing taxes, and I have a really hard time like setting alarms, and I have a really hard time like getting places on time. I have a really hard time having normal friendships. You guys are extraordinary. I have extraordinary friendships, but I mean, I have a really hard time not putting them in a place of like, hey, we're just bros that hang out and watch TV. I'm like, no, we have really deep conversations, and we're gonna like talk about things that matter and that make sense. And that's kind of where I derive. I had a really interesting life, I had a very interesting childhood, and that kind of made me look at a way that's really different. But I suck at living. I suck at living a normal life in the sense of having a 9-to-5 job and doing this. I just kind of, I'm not very good at it.
Being an adult is overrated.
It really is.
I was about to say, isn't that universal?
Pretty much.
Society sucks.
I don't know. I just
We need to fix it.
Yeah,
that's kind of why I was laughing. It's just I'm like I don't know. It's just
That's a hard question, White
it's a really hard question.
It is.
for me.
It is.
Yeah, what inspires
What
me?
about you, Tiana?
I would say that I would draw inspiration. It's cliche to say, but I draw inspiration from literally everywhere. So, I've always been a fan of something from the time that I was very young. I don't remember this, but my mom says that I used to refuse to answer to any name but Ariel because I was really into the Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah. Same.
I remember not answering to any name but Wendy, and being like, "Oh look, there's my restaurant." Every time we pass Wendy's. So I've always lived in stories in my head, and then as I got older, I started writing basically self-insert fan fictions, and only ever in my head at first, and creating these stories about these characters that I really loved with myself in there interacting with them. And then that developed into actual fan fiction with Lord of the Rings, and now Persona 5, and there's a whole bunch of other things. Garrett.
This is why we're good friends.
Yeah. So I would say that for me, inspiration has just always kind of been a constant. Like I see something and it makes me think of something, and then I hear. Okay, here's a good example. I do NaNoWriMo every year, the National Novel Writing Month, which is 50,000 words, 30 days, go.
Wow.
I could never
Deadlines
do that.
inspire.
I write in very small chunks, like maybe 4 sentences.
4 to about 10 sentences, I'd say.
Lines more than sentences. But yeah.
Fair.
Bullet points with only 5 words.
But yeah, you're right. Inspiration comes from a deadline in that case, and it's like, okay, what am I writing about? What can I pull on long enough to write 50,000 words? What interests me enough to do that? And sometimes it's a Von Canto song where it's like, hey, here is this song about we are the folk and we have the right to stand up and to fight. And it's like, okay, who are these folk? Why are they fighting? What's going on here? And that developed into a story that eventually I'm going to finish.
Well, we know those feels.
Oh man, those feels.
Yep.
But I'd say I draw inspiration from everywhere, from the music that I listen to the video games that I play. They say that stealing from one thing, from one inspiration source is theft, but stealing from everywhere is art. And I'd say that's very accurate because I write to answer questions for myself, whether it's my fan fiction is being like, okay, there's a situation in Persona 5 where I'm like, you are not as okay as you like to pretend. Mm-hmm. So let's see how not okay you are.
Can I just steal her answer?
So yeah, I write to answer questions, and I write to feed the part of me that has always put myself into stories.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
That's a good way to put it.
How about you, Lauren?
I heavily agree with that. But I get a lot of my inspiration for. I'm gonna be a little bit more concise. For Natrix specifically, I've gotten a lot of her inspiration from certain characters that I've perceived as something that I want to be like as well. People like Madalena from Gallivant, Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah.
Valentine.
I would definitely take a lot of inspiration from shows, from anime, from that kind of culture of like just the overemphasized emotions, overly expressive.
Where it's okay to just scream and
Yes.
cry over something.
It is okay to be fully you and have whatever feelings you have. It's all valid, as long as you feel it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
love that.
so
How about you, good old Aaron?
How's it going? Thinking. Think of a quip just so you can think.
Yes, Aaron, come on.
A lot of my inspiration wants to come from like a funny place. Like I think if Nat 1 was more comedic, I would definitely be doing different things with Mayhem. Still same character, but
I think you'll have the opportunity.
Here's the thing.
You guys have got to have a chance to breathe after all this.
It's going to happen. I promise you I have wonderful plans for you. You just have to live them to get it. So,
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh no, I'm good. I think a lot of my inspiration comes from, I guess a lot of personal situations, a lot of shows and movies that I've just been growing up watching. I basically grew up in front of the TV, in front of the console, figuring things out and what I liked. And I think a lot of my inspiration just comes from how can I make this a little different? How can I add more to this character or to this situation? Like, what would make it more intriguing if I was given the opportunity? And sometimes that just kind of spurs off into my own. I have small personal stories I've written, nothing ready to throw out into the world, but I'd say those small stories are heavily impacted by the things I've watched and seen that just made me think, but what if it was this way? So I get a lot of inspiration from either the concept that I've encountered or this as well. These two mainly, the concept or the team. A team helps me kind of generate a lot of who I am and helps me, to go like, okay, this is good, all right, and now you just go sprint. It's really fun to have that team, that dynamic, just growing and helping you move forward and inspiring you to change your character differently. It's really fun.
That's really cool. For me, everyone's pretty much said a lot of it, right? About what inspires me when I'm being creative. It comes from all over the place, but one of the things that I insist upon whenever I'm being creative and what really inspires me is authenticity. Authenticity to the story, to how you feel, to how it would go, which is what I really try and bring in as a DM. This is how I authentically feel it would go. Right, which is why, as Mayhem, with Tiny holding you, breaking it, this is how it would go. What's going to happen next, right? Letting that happen is important to me. But also in the poetry I write, because I write poetry as well, I find that authenticity is a necessity. And I write poetry because I feel like I have something to say. In this moment, I feel this way, and I need to put that down. And I need to get that out. And so I guess what inspires me to be creative is just the authenticity of it all is where I just want to say, just put it out there, this is me. And this is me in this medium or that medium, it doesn't matter, but it's always going to be authentically me, and I want to share that. And if that, as you guys were saying, inspires somebody, that is what it's all about. That is what it's all about. Somebody to feel that, particularly like
somebody to understand it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just to be understood on that.
Particularly with the poetry on Instagram, just for someone to comment and it's like, I know these feels.
Yeah.
You said what I feel, and that connection right there is one of the best things of humanity. So absolutely.
That's how I feel about my music. I feel that same way.
Exactly.
So it's about being completely authentic all the time. I try.
Yeah,
So
it's
kind
very
of what it
important.
is.
Yeah.
So thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got real deep there for a minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That question bonded us all.
So we have the real Taco Turtle subbed. So thank you.
Hey.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Jesus, I'm tired.
With a note, we need more tacos, and I agree.
Oh.
And turtles.
Tacos.
So Taco Turtle, if you can provide
Tacos.
maybe some turtle tacos.
Like I said at the very beginning or close to the beginning of this, I always forget to eat before these things.
Hawks have taco
That's
turtles
really
all the time.
What? Taco turtles.
It's a National Geographic joke. Sorry.
So this question goes out to everyone, and you do not have to answer it if you do not want to, of course.
Uh-oh.
So
it's gonna
what is everyone's day job?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
It's very simple. I'll go ahead and start. I am a project manager for a telecommunications construction company. Yeah, it is very much not what I do here.
I still can't fathom or describe it.
Yeah, basically, we build the cell sites. Or moreover, we manage the companies that build the cell sites for bigger companies. So, yeah, this is what we do. So, I currently work with T-Mobile. So if you're in the Bay Area and you have good T-Mobile service, that's my fault. If you're in the Bay Area and you have bad T-Mobile service, that's not me. We're fixing the problem here.
Should have spoke to you before I dropped T-Mobile, man.
There you go.
I work as a product specialist doing live streams for a competitor platform to this one. So I literally left one set to come to another one. Like I said earlier, my job is very intense and focus-driven, 9 to 5 in kind of like a professional capacity, and this is the same way in a creative capacity, and I'm here for every minute of it. I think I'm also really lucky to be able to work and play in a medium that I really am interested in, because, like, I don't know, this is the future.
Mm-hmm.
This is
the future of entertainment.
This is the future of entertainment. We have a channel to where we can find a niche group of people to communicate and to have global distribution on.
Yeah.
Right? Where before we would have to use a closed caption, local Fremont CC channel 429 and hope people tuned in and had to pay for the privilege of doing so. Like, this is a paradigm shift, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Brilliant.
That's my job.
Actually, I work at a music studio. I'm actually a recording artist, singer, and as I said, I do music, compose, and I'm working currently on my own album right now, as well as working for it. I also do production for movies. I'm also an actress, so I work on movie sets and off set, and either behind the camera or in front of the camera. I was an actor at Great America last year, so it's basically what I do. I just
being creative.
do that. I'm a creative person, and I was lucky enough to find a job that does that. And
that's the truth of it. Saying from a guy working in telecommunications.
so I was like, I just don't.
Tiana, I think we've said it a couple of times.
We have said it a couple times in the streams. I'm a freelance voice actress. So I do a little bit of everything from small video game projects to audiobooks to there's a service that's starting up. I don't know how far along it is, but it's basically like a la carte news articles that are read to you as you're doing your daily commute or whatever. So. It's a little bit of everything. I'm currently in a bit of a dry spell because I'm finishing up a production for a book called Travelers by V.S. Holmes. Highly recommend. Good book. Good book. I enjoyed reading that and all things. Good books. I enjoyed them. I think all things actually available on Audible. I'm not positive. I'll have to look. But yeah, that's what I do. I sit in a closet and I talk to myself. And
Living the dream.
And Bo makes me jealous on a weekly basis with all the voices he does. Because I'm sitting over here going, how? No, really.
I was a very strange kid growing up. Leave it at that.
Do you see how green my eyes are? They were not this green when I started the channel.
I love your voices.
I am honest.
Over here.
I am also in a creative field, one would say. I work as a chef for an Italian restaurant, and
it's important here to say that that's Lauren and not Natrix, because
Yes.
we've seen Natrix try to cook.
she didn't do so well.
That's why I wanted to inspire her.
I still don't know how my
So much
actually
better.
is better than her. I have no
I don't want to know. I'm a little terrified of that answer.
But yeah, I've done a lot of from scratch cuisines. I've done a lot of running of a kitchen by myself, which is intense, might I say.
I can imagine.
it's not for the faint of heart. I've had a lot of moments where I've freaked out on people because of it. Don't mind that. I don't want to see it.
Go full Matrix on you.
I've been the expediter in the kitchen. I understand.
It's bad.
It's bad. I have screamed at cooks.
I've screamed at dishwashers. Hey, they deserve it.
Another server.
So that's
I
my.
was a server, so I screamed at everyone.
Expediter is not for the faint of heart. The server's screaming at you and the cooks are screaming at you.
Screamed at most
really?
of the time. I was 18. I
Fair.
was very different than I am now. I was
As
a
a waiter.
wallflower.
I picked off of plates.
Yeah. Oh.
I drank people's. I polished off their empties.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
obviously.
I mean,
There you
I'm
go.
not going to blame anyone that does.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good.
That's what I do.
How did you, Aaron?
I've got like a handful of jobs.
You've got a lot going on.
Okay, so I'll straight line it with I'm mainly a photographer for either clothing or weddings. And after those weddings or after those clothings, I'm then the editor. So I'll video edit a beautiful day together in a crunch time because the bride wants it, and I will get it to you. Give it to me now.
And she wants it yesterday.
Oh yeah. And I don't know how that's possible, but I'll do it. And
It's very accommodating.
oh yes. Actually, I have some funny stories where someone has been trying to yell out one of my ears, and I'm just, yes, I hear your concern, and I will fix it.
Very mayhem.
There's mayhem. I was gonna say, that's,
Two M's!
that's where the mayhem comes from.
That's
I
why I'm
mean-
back at the house.
Dealing with bridezillas all day, probably that's probably.
I just think it's funny. I love when it comes. It's not like honestly that common as you'd think, but when it comes up, it's just funny seeing like I would love for it to be edited this way, and I'm like, oh well, I went to school and figured out how to edit. Took a lot of classes and figured. And just what the pacing of an edit should be. I think this is wrong. I think this goes against everything an editor would do, but I will do it for you because you want it.
Fair.
Like that one with the jump cut.
Oh yeah, that's too long of a story. But
We'll ask you later.
oh yeah, but yeah, photographer, videographer, and video editor, and sometimes and talent, but most of my talent's going here. I have my choice. I love it here.
We are very lucky to have it here.
There's a lot of
We are very freaking lucky to have it
I feel
here.
like rewarding you.
Yes, we are.
And I'm okay
No
with
one
that.
else can have it but yours.
I am honored to do it. Yeah, that's the three. Triple threat.
Oh yeah.
We're blessed to have you.
We are.
Thank you
Blessed to
guys
be
for
here.
that question. Take a couple more here. Quick and easy. Tiana, is there a connection between Dragon Age and Andraste?
Yes, but not in the way that you're thinking.
No?
No.
Is she a god?
No.
Will she ascend to godhood?
That's up to Thomas.
Ah,
We'll find
up to the
out.
maker, you mean?
Ooh.
Up to Lyra, how about that? So yeah, I've been into Dragon Age for like 10 years at this point. Something
good.
like I've played it back in Fairbanks, and just that was my stress relief, was going and killing Darkspawn. So I've been into Dragon Age for a while.
How could you not be?
Right. So I was building the character who would become Andraste. Have you not played this game?
Oh, I hope that wouldn't come
I'm
up.
sorry.
Can the edit just be like, what just happened?
Varys is
all-
like the best.
I've played them all.
Varric is amazing.
She's trying to get me into that.
I'm gonna say Varric.
Tried to get you into
The fact that
Witcher.
you cannot
You don't
romance
get into
Varric
Witcher.
is a crime. Anyway.
It's the lyrium that does it.
Would have. My
know
robe would have.
I knew
Anyway.
you wouldn't get that reference. Okay.
Yep.
Enchantment?
Enchantment.
There it is. So, I've been in Dragon Age for a long time. So when I was building the character who would become Andraste, I was flipping through the PBA.
PHP.
The PHB.
Gotcha.
I do it to piss off one of my home players, and it's just become a habit. I was flipping through the player's handbook, and I was looking at the elven female adult names. And under A is Andraste. It is there in the player's handbook. And I looked at that and went, there's nothing else that I could call her. And it just happened that, the common blessing in Dragon Age is, may the light of Andraste shine upon you. And then I built a light cleric named
Yep.
Andraste, who will drop Sacred Flame on you.
I love it.
Burn
Yes.
everything. And burn everything.
It's a good light.
The light of Andraste just happens to be a fireball if you piss her off hard enough.
Well done.
So, yes, there's a connection, but only because I saw the name and went, oh, that's cool, I'll take that. And then it just sort of developed from there.
There's more than one Dragon Age reference. I literally just realized Sen. I literally just realized that was his name. He's the
Well
the main
done.
brawler.
Well done.
Wow.
Which one?
In the Dragon Age Origins, right? Origins, yeah.
How am I missing this?
The Kunari.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They found him in a cage or like,
Yeah, that's not an origin. That's a dragon.
That is Origins.
Is that
Yeah,
origins?
That's Origins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Inquisition, the green one?
You're right. It is origins.
Yep.
Sorry.
Well, he's got some pigmentation. I wouldn't call
This
it
was
green.
without horn.
That's right.
Just, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, he
Go
does
into
not
that.
have
It sort of changed. Like
Yeah.
the character design was.
Yeah.
The character design got a
Dragon
little.
Age 2 got different. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
Yeah.
It was confusing. Sen. Oh, he wasn't Sen. He was Sten.
Sten is
Yeah.
That's why I was like.
That's why I was
It was slight.
What?
Light.
Sten.
It's very close, but
It's
not
really
not
close.
quite.
Chat was blowing up.
Sorry.
Oh, probably just screaming at us.
Your game is you play Dragon Age Origins. How could you?
It has been a while. I need to look at my PlayStation and play it again. Oh,
Alistair is the best ever, though. I absolutely. love
my
him.
God.
Alistair as well.
I romance him every single time. Like I write
Same.
fan fiction based on that,
I love him.
which,
tried so
which is on
hard.
fanfiction.net and may die in a pit.
And Morgan is hilarious.
You can't go for anyone else though. If you go for Alistair, you have to go just Alistair.
Yeah.
Zevran, though.
I know. That's the hard part. I can't help myself.
I mean, the sweet talking French rogue. How could
I
you
can't.
not?
I can't not.
I went and I was just like, what is Morgan like?
Awesome.
Morgan is staring. She is a swamp witch.
I love her.
Terrifying. I love her.
Yeah,
So-
I always did the bit at the end.
Yeah.
You know, that bit.
That bit, me
I always
too.
did that bit.
I feel.
Dragon Age was controversial because you could.
I always said Alistair into that because I always played a woman.
Same-sex character.
Yes.
I remember that being.
Yeah.
That was
Same
a
with
big
Mass
thing.
Effect.
I was
Mass
just-
Effect was
yeah.
kind of the same way.
Yes.
I love it.
As a queer person,
Yes.
But as a kid, what? Why is
also,
this an issue?
Also, it's really funny. So, Anders. So I actually like as a rogue. Trying to romance Anders was like the worst. It was never satisfying. It was awful. But then I went and I was like, I'm not gonna romance Anders as a mage. I am not.
And then you
it's gonna be
did.
Fenris.
And then you did.
No, it was even worse than that. So I turned him down, and the look on his face.
He's like, you kicked a puppy.
I just walked over to the game system and turned it off. And I was like, I'm done.
Sir Poncelot. Okay, that was the thing. That was the biggest problem that I had with Anders in the whole Dragon Age saga because I played Awakening first, and I was like, what did you do to him?
Right.
Basically, he
I was
turned
angry.
into Alistair because people missed Alistair, I'm sure.
He did not turn into Alistair. He
turn
was
to
way more
Alistair.
emo than Alistair.
Well, for good reason at that point.
I mean, yes,
Yeah.
but you took this happy-go-lucky mage who was happy with this itty-bitty kitten that he carried around in his
know that
robe,
reference.
and then you turned him into vengeance, and I was like,
It's terrorist.
why?
we got time for one more, guys.
Okay.
So let's do that here.
Yeah, derail us talking about Dragon Age.
I
Sorry.
would like to ask this of every single person, and you can choose which character, or you can say both if you have multiple. What is your character's biggest fear? And this comes from the Baroness.
Thanks, Ghislaine.
Aaron.
In character, biggest fear, or just fear of what's happening in the game? Oh, okay, either. I'll take it as I will.
I would say actually in your character's biggest fear.
Yeah.
Besides
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah. He's working through it. And lightning. I would say, yeah, I don't know. I want to say Ruckus, Mayhem. Okay, I'm going to briefly touch on Mayhem just because there's a lot to explore there that could be spoilery. I think Mayhem's biggest fear is the fact that just a lot of Rick. How do I say this? Should I even say? You're wide-eyed. Don't say the wrong thing. I think
Be very careful what you say and mark the shirt he's wearing.
I haven't explained Mayhem's background. I'm just gonna say there's players, there's NPCs that could come back in his present and that are really gonna shake up how he can react to that. I don't even know how he's going to react to it. I'm very nervous. I'm also excited where I will see them. And Ruckus doesn't have as many to come back, but I think his biggest fear would be failure in his final goal. Like, cause
His revenge.
yeah, his revenge, failure in that, and because that's the one thing that's mattering most to him. But he's tagging along because he knows he's not strong enough to do it, and that's the one thing he's committing to. That if he doesn't stick with this team, he might be screwed, and he hates to admit it.
And thus far, sticking with the team has gotten him some kind of revenge thus far.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been satisfying.
With our boss, yeah.
It's been satisfying. It's been
I can
awesome.
imagine.
Not done yet.
Oh, I know.
Forward to that.
And when we are ready, we'll be there with you.
Oh yeah. And when I figure out what to do when I get to level 6, I will also be there.
I don't think they have anything after level.
We've missed the Deadpool ruckus.
really have.
I got it.
Let's go over here with Natrix.
Ooh, I gotta be careful with how I say this. I would say Natrix is afraid of connection. Getting too close to other people. Do with that what you will,
Oh, yeah.
and I'll leave it there.
I like it. To be explored later.
Mic
Yes.
drop.
How about on draw stick?
I mean, I think you can guess.
I'd rather not. I'd rather you tell us.
She's afraid of losing her people again. She's she will do absolutely everything in her power to not lose any member of the Foxy Irregulars or the children that were saved from the Nyalo tribe. She will, up to and including putting her own life on the line. She will not lose someone else again, and that's what wakes her up sweating at night, is the idea of losing hers again, because she feels like I imagine a little bit like Rucka, she feels like she failed the tribe, that she should have been there to stand with them or die in the attempt.
I imagine part of that failure, part of those nightmares that wake her up at night have to do with the dead bodies that were buried by her and her uncle.
Especially her uncle, especially now that she's thinking about it again. Because, I mean, she very carefully, like she said to Remy, she put everything into a chest and locked it and threw the key away. She did her best to never think about it, never get close, a little bit afraid of, she was afraid of connection, and now that she's connected, she's like, all right, I'm all in again. And if I'm all in, this will never happen again. I will do up to and including draining my own life force to make sure you don't freaking die.
I've loved it.
moment.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. I thought about it a lot before that happened, because I looked at that spell and went, I have access to what now? And that spell is always prepared.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Aubrey, what's Maya's greatest fear?
Failure.
Failure. In what capacity?
Right now, I think some of it is failing her team at this point. You know, she has really taken a lot of ego blows with the last almost two episodes. I'd say the 2 episodes before this last one. You know, she really, again, she's always kind of been working on her own in the sense of and failure is not something she's used to, and so that is a big fear of hers. And that is, so that's all I'm gonna say, because otherwise there's more spoilers in that. I mean, she was really afraid of the ghosts of her past, particularly. We saw that in her, she was terrified of them, and then now she's come more at peace with them. Once she's discovered what they are and what they represent, and you know, and that's given her some
See where that
peace.
goes.
Yes, I mean, there's definitely more that, you know, going to come through. But I think failure at this moment, it's letting the team down. It's letting her decisions affect everybody else. That's how she feels. You know, it's on her. They either live by her or they die by her. And that's kind of how she feels. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that's how she feels. She feels like this is my fault. Every decision everyone's made is on me, and I take all the blame for my team. And that's, you know, and myself. And that's kind of what she feels like. Everything, her decisions, everything that's on her. And failing is a big fear of hers right now. For Rio, it's, I didn't make a difference. I did not change the world. That's his biggest fear. He wants to inspire everybody and change the world with his music, one person at a time. Yeah, he's very simplistic, which I love.
Oh, that's important, you know? That's really important.
Yeah, he wants
to his character.
love and, you know,
Yeah.
and inspiration to everybody, and that's his goal.
That's noble. It's noble.
He is an 80s rock star.
Fair.
Go over to Warren. How about Uzo?
I think Uzo's pretty fearless, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he considers every day as like I made it. He not ready to die, but like if his time comes, he's died a few times over. I think his main fear is losing his gifts, not so much the magic, but the ability to see. He feels like he's just been born again, and not really being a pious, like a person of faith in any way, having been given this gift and having seen how easily other gifts can be taken away, like when he was deafened. He feels like gods or whatever patron is toying with him. Specifically, the disagreement I think he'd have with Mayhem is that, like, what do you mean there's nothing here? Because anyone that could give him a gift and then something is clearly observing, and if they're observing, they're seeing the same injustices he's seeing and doing nothing about it. And he thinks that he is a pawn, and at any moment, his fear is a realization, and at any moment, he knows it's only a matter of time. His sight is going to be taken from him. His fear is not knowing when that is. So he lives every moment trying to help as much as he can, or make an impact in any way he can, so that when it happens, he's not grief-stricken and crippled by it, but it would be very devastating to him to go back to a life he knew. But that's his biggest fear, just having his senses taken away.
I like that. I like that a lot. Welcome, Raiders. Ascension Stories has raided us. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Coming in just at the end here.
Yeah.
But,
What about
thank you
Remy?
for joining us.
What does Remy fear?
Oh, yeah.
And Ted.
Give him something good.
Remy fears rats. No.
I feel like that's a new fear.
And
It's been developed.
It's similar to yours, to a lot of people's here. Remy fears not being good enough. Not being there, failing because of his own lack, because it is something inherently wrong with him. So he fears the affirmation of his doubts about himself. He fears that in actuality he isn't everything that he's trying to be, and that no matter how hard he tries, it's never going to be enough. And this is what's constantly driving him to kind of advance. And even though there's not a whole lot of Remy, development going on right now within the story, I really think that is what's always kind of with him, is that he never wants to prove that he's not good enough, which is why when he sees everyone, even Ruckus, can do magic.
Huh? Fireball. Chromatic orb.
Yes.
Why would they give it to you? It makes no sense.
And he's
I paid
seconds
for
from
it.
blowing his own eyebrows off.
I paid for this.
So I mean, this is the reason why you'll see Remy always trying to maximize everything he does. When he saw the gun, he was like, no, I have to have this. I have to. This is going to make me better. This is going to make me able to do the things that I want to do and be the person that I want to be. And he definitely fears not living up to that. So that's Remy. As far as Ted doesn't fear a goddamn thing. Honestly, Ted does not fear a damn thing. And
I love that. That's awesome.
I guess if there was something he would ever fear for Ted, it would be, I guess, losing trust or a breakdown of a friendship from somebody that means a lot to him. That would be Ted. But outside of that, he is battle hardened and does a good job of repressing that a lot of the time, which is why you've started to see a little more of it from him. I always put these little clues in for Ted throughout, like for instance the second episode when you guys go down after defeating the pirates, right? Go down into where the hold is with Lila Thorell, and Ted's sitting there. There's 10 bodies, 6 of which Ted has killed himself.
Oh yeah.
Decapitations. Like, I didn't even show it. It's just, this is what happened, and you guys walked in on that. And he's sitting there, you know, bloody and with his axe, and you guys thought, oh, no, you know, Ted, wow, that was cool. And moved on. And yeah, the truth is that he's always had this. So when you actually got to see him killing things, killing humans, getting into that battle, and he changes, and he goes for it, and there's definitely reasons for it. So yeah, he does not fear much of anything.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's great.
No.
I like that.
I'm very, very interested.
Can't
for
wait
you
to
guys see.
explore that.
Yes.
Can I ask,
Yes.
even his own past, based on last week or the 2 weeks ago episode when Sen talked to him about it?
He's uncomfortable talking about it with people, for sure. It's not something that he wants. Like I said, he's repressed a lot of that, for good reason. But when it comes to battle and it's time to go, he's like, I'm gonna take everything out. And thus far,
He has.
He's delightfully lived up to that.
that was a lot of fun. All right, we got one last question here. Can Thomas wants to know if he can play I don't know how to pronounce GIF or GIF gunslinger in your one shot, or he will never leave any of us alone and ask every day until we die. I'm going to be very honest.
I love his
Worth
commitment.
it. No, you can't. Every day. I have got one hard head, so bring it. Bring it.
I love his commitment, though.
I'm sorry that this decision affects all of you as well, but you have to live with it.
It's okay.
Okay.
There are no hippo people in that one. Yeah. But the one shot is coming, and I am ready
Brace
to
yourselves.
reveal, because you guys, chat pretty much guessed it last night during that, so I'm going to go ahead and reveal. I said it's going to be a character's backstory. You guys are going to get to see a little more of Ted.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
A
you.
little more of Ted. The one shot is going to be on Sunday, like I said, 1 to 6, and it is called Theodore Rising.
Yes.
That's so good.
That's awesome.
Streaming that, right?
We're streaming
I mean,
it.
yeah.
We're streaming it.
Gotta.
So you know what to do,
Sunday,
guys.
1 to 6.
Like,
Come join us.
subscribe.
Bring
It
your
will
moms.
be interesting.
Join the
Yes. Bring your
The
moms.
Discord is awesome. You guys should be
Yeah.
in there.
Yes, yes. Join the Discord. Thank you, everyone who has followed and subscribed and liked and
And you
everything.
insane people who've given bits.
Yeah.
Subscribers.
Thank you so much. Seriously.
Seriously,
Yes.
that's
I can't tell you what it means to us, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of that affirmation of what we're doing. Definitely reaches you guys to the point where you want to help us out and keep us going. And that's what really every creative, I think, really wants, is to touch people like that.
Yeah.
You know? So
Nailed
thank
it.
you guys so much for being a part of this, for being a part of Quest and Chaos, for hanging out with us for 3 hours.
Yeah, thanks for sitting
Yeah.
here and listening to our character stories and getting to know a little bit more about the people you tune in to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that.
And thank you for the questions. Thanks for
Yeah.
caring enough to ask and participate.
Thank you.
we love you guys.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Really.
One announcement here. We will be at Kubla Khan. It is
Yes.
coming up. We will be there. So that's in Burlingame. And we'll be there the 24th and the 25th with a live Chaos Agents D&D stream on the 25th. So
Be fun.
I'm very excited.
We will have moved 10 feet.
it's true. It take forever. I'm really hoping that we're getting to the big baddie.
I think we will, based on a couple things that Thomas said. I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to happen. And it makes, it makes sense because we'll have Andrew from Nord Games on the stream with us.
We will have our grumble.
And the critter that we're fighting, as Thomas said, comes from the Nord bestiary that they just kickstarted. So we get to show off one of the things that they had in their Kickstarter book with Andrew on the show with us as we go and kick its ass. Or die in the process.
That's so good.
That would be amazing.
I wonder how he plays it, knowing what
you have to separate, right?
Yes.
You have to separate what the player knows and what the character knows.
It can definitely be hard sometimes, especially when you're sitting here and it's like, has my character fought skeletons before? Okay. You know what I mean? But they know this.
Well, right, because there's stuff that I know because I've read about liches and all that sort of thing. There's things that I know. Andraste's barely heard of them. She would have no freaking clue. So I'm just like, okay, she doesn't know.
Remy rolled real good on his...
he did.
Yeah.
So what does he know?
Oh, I think
that'll be
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, everything that this thing is probably a lich, and that it is very tough to kill, and we may have to deal with that.
Yes.
Son of a lich. Son of a lich.
So tomorrow again, no Cthulhu.
Right.
But we'll be back for Nat 1 next Sunday, or this coming Sunday.
Yes.
We will be back for Nat 1 one-shot, the natural one-shot, Theodore Rising.
I do like that.
It's fun.
It's good.
It's fun.
Yeah. So Theodore Rising.
Aside.
And then Monday, of course, we'll be back for more of the natural one to see what happens in the bowels of the keep. I say bowels because you're in the sewers.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Waist deep in feces.
That's right.
Well, ankle deep anyway.
Well,
deep in-
kind of slipped into all of it.
Or Ted.
So we'll have our
Sewage.
special guest star coming back to join us on Monday night.
Yes.
Yes.
Kelly Olszewski. So tune in to see more of Rhea and join our group of marvelous people. We should have Sen back as well.
Yes.
Good, yay.
And then on Tuesday, regular Chaos Agents will be back digging deeper into the forest and trying not to die.
Let's kill things.
Let's kill things.
Let's do it.
I want to walk up things.
We spent most of the episode last week trying to figure out.
How to keep that stupid druid alive.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Next time we kill it.
But we got so much information that we needed, we would have walked in blind and died if
Yeah.
we didn't know we were dealing with a lich.
Yeah. We had to just keep them up all the time and just keep them awake.
And occasionally roll over and spare the dying.
Yep.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
fun.
It was a long night for that.
You guys are brutal.
Those are the moments I want Ruckus to go against the team. You should have let me pierce him to a tree.
Remy was this close.
Andraste was this close, but that was a little bit too close to her memories, where she's just like,
I
nope.
had enough. And
Well, I mean, you saw how pissed off Andraste got, where she was like, guiding bolt 3rd level, just get out of my face.
That's great.
I didn't.
I'm very excited to see where that story is going. Very excited to play.
Me too.
Yeah, it would have been disgusting with all of you.
For that reason, it was
It was brutal.
All right, guys. That's going to be it for us here at Quest and Chaos. Thanks for joining
Thank you,
us.
guys.
Thanks for all the bits, the likes, the
This is for you.
subscribes, all
Cheers.
of it. And we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Until next time.
I'm excited.
Bye, guys.
Night, guys.
Sunday fun day.